Dark is not in the game anymore, and so Mr. Satan having a tough task on his hands, staying in this one.
In his hands is also a med kit he's going to try to use to get all the way in. We see a few more fights behind the scenes on screen. Jogs and Skies have been so good at just being able to survive and win a bunch of these third-party engagements. I'm wondering exactly what it is that's keeping them completely from the end game. Bloomy as well, kind of off spawn, immediately going down, rebooted, ready to rock in game number 3. Unfortunately, the rock is there. There's no roll for the end game. He's not going to be able to make it this time. Janus and Vortex also on the back, 17th place overall. For a bunch of these teams who are at that like 30-point threshold, it's just about consistency, trying to make that 9th zone, get into that top 10, clinch the clutch, so to speak. For some of the big, what did we call them yesterday, height dogs, it's more about control and maintaining it. Here's one of the height dogs, Wolf Wolf in the bush, Anas Pink. Man, they're resorting to this. I like it still. But it's getting rough out here in day number 2.
No, but that's what it's all about, man.
Yeah.
You know, let's not discriminate about ways about going for Surge.
That's facts, that's facts.
You know,
it is Surge, it is Surge.
I like a sneaky, queasy hen play. If you like a sneaky, queasy hen play, a nice attempt from Pink and Anas in a bush shouldn't throw you off. They've executed it quite well, right? Getting creative is what I like to see, personally.
Yeah. And look at him, we mentioned... Okay, hold up. Before the mentioning, what is this from Pink? There's just no way. He's alive.
Pink, son, Pink.
I think he's doing it now so they don't get done in after. I respect it. No, watch. There's a med kit up inside this box. He's going to be fine. I'm manifesting this.
So for anyone who maybe doesn't quite understand what just happened there, those trees, when you knock them down, they actually can destroy structure, they can do damage to players. Pink knocked them down, maybe in an attempt to try throw somebody else off, maybe they'd roll into somebody else's builds. They rolled into his builds, he ends up just, you know, doing damage to himself. And
the purpose for it, that purpose is just so no one else actually topples the trees when they're moving.
Sayo.
It's a 6-head play, bro.
Right now, somebody is tuning in to the Fortnite broadcast for the first time. They don't know that you're a serial troll.
I'm not serial trolling, though.
They think
I'm being genuinely serious.
Nobody does that. For anybody who wants to be a professional Fortnite player at home, nobody does that. That wasn't good. That was bad. That was a milk from Pink.
Milk from Pink.
Yeah, that was...
Strawberry then.
Well, Pink milk.
You combine them, right?
Typically strawberry milk.
Yeah.
I do like strawberry milk, though, so...
I'm telling you, the play works. We rock it in. Look at the map for a second, too, and exactly how things are rolling for the rest of the server. Benji Savage separated from the entire lobby. I feel like in class right now and in damage stats as well. They've just been rocking every single endgame on low ground. 322 for Thomas. I'm going to make this stat up on the spot, and it's not accurate.
Okay.
Every time I see this man land shots and ad-lib it with a snipe, he gets top 3 in the game. Completely fake stat, but it sounds so good.
It sounds accurate as well. That's the funny thing. Like, I would believe that if you didn't say fake stat, probably.
Yeah.
Look, the boys are back. This is the one.
This guy is smiling. You guys can't see this. Beloved is smiling so wide.
Bro, I'm excited, bro. I just want to see these guys win, bro.
Yo, low key, I want to see that smile wiped off your face, but I also want Thomas and Tripper to qualify, so my heart is broken in 2.
But there's someone in the Twitch chat. Biased casters. Casters aren't supposed to be biased.
No, you can root for people. I can't change how it goes. I don't control the observing, you know what I mean?
I'm just telling you what's
talking about what's going on. Hey, Cisse Milo, this is happening on screen right now. Left wall open. Sometimes the room is hot. You need a little bit of breeze, you know what I mean? But if outside, it's just absolutely lethal bullets flying around in terms of the weather, you might want to keep your windows closed. No chance if there's lightning inside your living room too. They were not up on Surge. That was happening. Or the potential for that to happen would start. Unfortunate for the boys, but Milo can definitely bring it back. Dueling in common ways. Also starting to become alive inside this feed. They should be a force to be reckoned with. In terms of surviving as a duo, I feel like they have the ability to do that very well compared to many of the other teams we see in this lobby. Towards the end as well. Trippin and Thomas getting a little bit greedy with the way they move. Challenging is above them and then completely going right towards the line of sight and moving in. Indian and Hardfind don't actually try to rattle back and hit up another challenge. As a result, Trippin just walks over and should be, the highest point of elevation on the map right now. Yes, they're further away from where their zone actually locks in, but they should have a pseudo height rolling into the next circle.
Yeah, this is going to be interesting, right? Because I'm sure one of our analysts maybe at some point on the desk will be able to give us an accurate update on this, because we've obviously not been able to watch them from our spawn, but I don't believe they've actually been getting the vault, because I don't see the launch pads. Usually Trippin holds the keys.
To the game?
He holds the keys to the car. Or
what were you calling it yesterday? The language of the pad.
The language of the pad, right? And
yeah.
I've not seen the pads from these guys, right? And so that would suggest to me that one of the other teams is maybe taking the vault from them and getting that. But you know, maybe I'm wrong on that one. I'm sure the analysts will try an update on that.
Only thing I think of is that they are leaving earlier, so they can be ahead on surge, and they're giving up the pads and possibly even giving up the vault.
They're not giving up the pads. The pads are being taken. There's a good chance maybe one of the other teams landing there is like taking shots at Gunner, the NPC that lands there, and he doesn't land there, he just spawns there. But Gunner, you know, because once you like take shots at him, he like starts coming towards you, like he's on the smoke, he's on the beef. So maybe one of those teams is taking those shots. Lawless and SD in a bit of trouble here, right in the backside of the zone.
Pentic.
And this is tough. They're gonna have to use the floppers to stay in the game. Lawless using a med mist, but
he's down.
A team that we were very high on with some struggles here. Lawless not gonna have a say in this game. ST though,
it's 6 zone.
Yeah, he will have a say, but for how much longer, right? You can see him just scrambling his way in, low on materials, low on HP, doesn't have anything to get that side of things up other than the minis, and so things get really, really dicey for him. I don't know if he'll be able to pull off a Lawless-like clutch, because as you can see, the zone is pulling up over the hill, and that's going to make things really tough, especially for this team here as well. Benji Fishy's down, the res will come through, but all of a sudden, a team who've been very consistent in a very awkward spot.
Live, Savage also pump straight from the back all the way on low ground, and they elevate after the fact. Benji actually survives and starts to move in. 50 pot to pop as well inside the box, but unfortunately, we're moving way far away from the backside of the zone. They're getting pulled even further, and Osh taking down Janice, so a chance of high ground. The clouds kind of parting, sunlight shining through, a cinch for them possibly all the way towards the top, and yes, they start to go. Axe Force though, there with the clash, they end up crashing straight down to second height, and that's now all the way up top. They got 3 limbs this duel so far. They've connected, they have a little bit of control, and they have a little bit of a seat on a plane towards finals.
Yeah, you can see they're on it, and that's making sure to look at second height, pressure them as much as possible. Axe Force and Yusri will look to go for it if he's not careful, but in the back of the zone, Thomas falls. He falls to his demise. Thomas might have just thrown the game there for his team. Trippin still in the game as a solo though. What can he do in this situation? But everything falling apart for the Danes right now.
He was trying to go possibly for height, had no match left all the way towards that top side. Maybe just a slip of the finger. Who knows? Meanwhile though, Diox, there's so plenty more to see. Like max damage on the Voxy. That's huge. And he keeps powering through. Wafflar down. But this man has so much left to give as a solo to try to get as many points as possible inside this game.
You can see he's trying to rise, trying to find a clearer layer, but he needs to be careful because there are people on this one. They deal with him. Pink and Anasto, clear as sky on height. Nobody giving them issues. Rifty and Flodax giving the rest of the lobby issues down below though, as they're picking up eliminations. Rifty closes it out there with the combat. Axe Force is the one taken out, and so now they're going to continue their pursuit of finding control, but he runs underneath the wrong box. He gets taken out, and so Flodax, one moment he has a duo, the next moment he's a solo. What can he do now in this position? Not many builds to work with, but a pump might be all he needs right now.
Look at the distance with an awesome Pink and the rest of the server. You can see sunny skies versus tornadoes and hurricanes occurring all the way on low ground. Armored walls basically made into boxes because of the pressure from the gods up top. Flodax now trying to parkour his way all the way up and buy as much time. No mats. Farms a few pockets empty, looking for just shots on all sides. The Frizzy now going down as well. Up close and personal. There's one man in the box. Bush is the last one left, but he's getting beamed too. The Cypher keeps him alive. 2 seconds, 1 to be able to play with the zone. Now 29 HP is going to be fine for the moment. Shady down. Lucian then bounces back. Has a chance for the revive as well, but nope. Med Miss will be dropped to be able to use it and just get all the way back up on white HP for the moment. Stompy and Ju also here, keeping it low key. Have a lot of materials to use as well, and also be his focus next. Flodax now at the bottom side has to go past the armored wall. It's too thick. The chainmail cannot be pierced, and he goes down. Now the pressure's really ramping in. Last top 5. Can they stay alive is the question. This duel on low. Another armored wall drop down. The placements are perfect from everyone down on this road. But how long is the trip? Can they have enough gas in the tank left to take it all the way to the VR, to take it all the way to the finals? That's the cushion. Sue now in the business too. Looking for his own shot. goes past the grass lands. Leon goes down, and Austin with a big pick. Lucia now finally down. Then there's more clashes happening. 3 different teams left, Levin, as they have a little bit of patience to keep rocking through. And Austin Pink on height. They keep the space. They keep class, composure. They want this to be just a basic game for them, a walk in the park. This is the day at the job for the duel up top. They made it look so easy right now. And you can see the pressure, the chaos, the confusion down low. They haven't seen the sunlight in days. Basement Brawlers on the low ground. They have no idea what height even looks like. A little bit of a shot on the right side. As much damage as possible from Cookie Sue, but now it's that final 2v2. And look at the loadout. Splashes in the business. Floppers too. This should be a shoo-in for Pink and Anas. Anything can happen, though, in this final fight.
They've been so cool, calm, and collected. Stompy and Jew, they have a win condition of their own, but it doesn't seem like they'll be able to out-heal Pink and Anas up above. We'll see whether or not they take the gamble, though, whether or not they'll actually be confident in their ability to heal out here. But if not, it might be an all-out fight that goes on. For Pink and Anas, it's about just staying composed, making sure they don't give them anything, don't give them that hope. Stay in this game. You can see them just staying, trying to make sure they keep their HP up as best as possible. And Stompy and Jew realizing now that he needs to try and hide. Don't give them any extra heals, and it's not going to be possible. He needs to take the fight. He's not going to be able to out-heal Pink, doing everything he can now to make that timing so difficult. He tries to hide away. I don't think they'll be able to find his knocked body, and so he's just going to have to be relying on the med mist he has now. But there's no hope for him. There's no chance he can out-heal the arm chest that Anas has available to him. You can see so many more heals to work with. He has so much more time in this game, and Anas, who has been one of the more consistent players, an absolute tank, someone who rarely ever makes mistakes, finally securing a spot in the FNCS finals. Pink and Anas, they've been brilliant throughout this season. They've shown us in many different competitions why they are so great, and finally executing this in the semi-finals.
And they're executing it in their style, on their terms. It's not a hosh-posh type of low-ground win. It's not desperate. There's no chance whatsoever. It's just too good. And, you know, Reese called it at the start of the day. He's been right so far so many times. You know, it hurts me to say it, but props to him so far. They make it look like they always do, man. Super easy.
Look, Pink and Anas making it through is absolutely huge. A duo that had very, very, very high expectations of themselves and finally delivering. Like you said, Reese Hub was bang on the money this time round. And so we're just going to kick it to him and the rest of the desk to gloat about how brilliant the one and only Reese Hub truly is.
Hold on. I was going to sing a song about champions, but I'm a bit afraid, firstly, of my singing, and secondly, we might get DMCA'd. So.
Yeah. Production, this just in, we're going to need a bigger stage. Apparently, we can't handle this. Reese's brain is too large.
I was going to say
I'm going to make room. I'm going to make room for his big brain. Reese, I'll just stand over here. Wow, Pink and Anas finally going on through. You love to see it.
Yeah.
You love to see it.
Straight up, this shouldn't have been an easy prediction, I'm not going to lie, because this should have happened yesterday. We talked at the top of the show about the mistakes that they were making, you know? The fact that they've come so far as players, and that together, right, that they need to be making their own decisions. And instead, let's say they were listening to their coach, who was making great calls, but these players are now so good that they've elevated a little bit past that plan. And it's just great to see them go through today.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, yes, Reese, you are correct. Well done. You got it right. But it is all about Pink and Anas. They absolutely popped off in this game. And, of course, it was another West zone, so they've had enough practice at that west side of the zone. And I think what really set up this endgame for success for these guys was they actually were sitting in a bush. I believe it was about third zone. Did you see that?
Indeed.
They were sat in a bush, and they just waited for a player to come on by. I'm not quite sure who it was they picked up, but they picked up a huge
unlucky player.
A very unlucky player.
A very unlucky
sad player. He's crying right now. But, no, they picked up the refresh, and they used the bush to their advantage. And I think that's what really set them up for success.
I mean, literally, you have to be careful. If you are a player of high caliber or of low caliber, mid caliber, wherever you fall on the spectrum of skills, you have to be careful of every single bush you walk through. Let's be real. People could be hiding in it. Every single time you'll see top players just build a ramp, build some walls if they're rotating anytime near them, because players will be sitting in there and things like that will happen.
I'm just surprised that someone was able to be taking advantage of it that way, right? Like, come on, these are small technical things. You can't be making mistakes like that. It's not in semi-finals. But once again, congratulations to Pink and Anas. They find themselves Victory Out, which means the next time we're seeing them will be in finals. But the day's not done, right? We still have a bunch of games to play. Have to look at our top 6, right? See how things are going. Any kind of thing standing out to you guys coming out of this game?
Benji and Savage.
Yeah. think
I
Benji.
want to talk about them.
Yeah. Go for it. Fire away.
Talked about them a lot. I mean, Benji and Savage, they're doing it. They're doing it on low ground.
Honestly.
They're staying very consistent.
at it.
And something that I really want to pick out about that game was, of course, the revive. Benji Fishy went down on, I believe it was first moving zone, and Mr. Savage was able to pick him up, and they both had the chug smashes to use as well. Really, really great play from them. And, of course, a deserved top spot by a lot as well, if you haven't noticed.
Big margin.
A good amount.
Big margin. They've been playing well, and you know what? We haven't seen them play well like this season yet. So I'm very happy. Benji fan, Mr. Savage fan. I'm sure everyone is at this point, let's be real. Second place still, Lolis Nesty. We've talked a lot about West Zones so far, and I'm going to keep talking about West Zones because it's important. These guys land south of Camp Cuddle, which is a West POI right now. And look at the position they are in the bottom. You can actually see they've not moved. This is where they drop. They just have not moved this whole time. And you can see the Storm Surge right now is 223 above because they're on that side. All the players are rotating through them. These guys at one point were 600 above Storm Surge.
Wow.
Just by sitting there. I think that was with no eliminations.
No eliminations, yeah.
No eliminations as well. So they were just fragging out from this position. Now you can see the position they've moved to now. It's just almost fully centered zone as well. So these guys are putting themselves in the positions to do really well and get deep into game. Well, maybe not talk about how this game ended because it wasn't so great for them, but they were set up to do well. They had everything in place.
This is the duo I really want to see competing in finals, right? Because I feel like they absolutely... Dude, I hope so. I mean, they're absolutely crushing the competition. But it is that time once again, Fortnite fan. We're getting ready to jump on the battle bus. We have more games for you guys. I mean, I hope you guys are enjoying all of the action. Remember, if you like this, there's also NA East, there's also NA West. We're also back tomorrow for more, so just hang in there. Keep watching some incredible Fortnite. Hey, Shrywager, 11-2K, set us up for the next game.
I got you, Zeke. You're talking about if you like this. If you like Zeke, he's going to be here after this game as well, Lover. That's what I'm really focused on.
That's what you're waiting for, right? For the game to end so you can watch again. Look, I'm waiting to see who will be the next team to secure their spot in the FNCS finals, right? That's where we all want to be at the end of the day. We had 3 great qualifiers. We've had 1 great day so far. Day 2 is already living up to the hype as well, but we still have a couple more teams left today that will have that opportunity.
Yeah, some of them kind of so close, like Jerky, like iDrop, like Thomas and Tripper, and to be at that top spot, have everything in the barrel, ready to go. Unfortunately, the gun misfires, things happen. A few more games still left. They have a chance, and another day after the fact as well.
I was going to say, some of the names you named, they haven't really been as close as maybe we would have hoped, right? You know, a bit of a mixed bag in terms of some of the teams we've seen really perform today. And I think the big thing for them moving forward is that you don't lose that composure, right? You still do have games, you still do have time. At the end of the day, when you are just playing for a Royale, anything is possible. You can't afford to let your mental slip.
And the top 6 is also available as well. Lots of team just working for that consistency. Right now, though, game number 4, let's see what they got left in the tank.
We have another game on the way. It's been a brilliant day so far. I think the big question coming into this is what on earth is going on? Off spawn, Victor and Tropex deciding this time to wisely dodge out of the Greasy fight. But I believe we saw some players going down at Greasy right off the bat as well. So things really kicking off early here in game 4.
The fight never ends, and as a few people drop down into the lobby, some people just dropping into the POI. It's iDrop. And I have no more drops to go with after that.
It's fine. It's cool. Look, I got you on this one. Juriki and iDrop. Last game, couldn't do it at Logjam Lumberyard. The big thing is, though, LaFrizzy and Lucia did incredibly well in that last game, right? They were the representatives from Logjam, right? They were able to secure them. And so even though we're bigging up and hyping iDrop and Juriki, look at the standings. Look at the bottom left. LaFrizzy and Lucia, they're sitting in 7th place right now. They've been the better team out of Logjam today when it comes to the overall standings, and they might win out this fight once again. iDrop goes down again. This is what, the 3rd game in a row where he's been the one to go down first. Juriki left as a solo now, trying once again to keep his team in the game. Gonna use the geysers to get right out of here. Typically, they'd be using this geyser to get up on the shifty hill to get surge tags. That's not even an option. That's not even a thought in his mind right now. All he can do is think about a plan and a way to keep his team in the game. But a disappointing start once again. But from the LaFrizzy and Lucia, a brilliant, brilliant start.
Absolutely, and you have to assume that those thoughts, his head's for both those players, I drop Jerky, is going to be cloudy. How do you get back into the game? How do you get back on pace towards going ahead and surge, trying to get a VR? Are we even close to maybe going towards that top 6? Do we have a chance this game? Well, I mean, good news for, I think, everyone on the map. At least the scenery and the setting will be different. We're playing around Rocky Reels now and the Sanctuary. And we look at this fight happening again.
Finally.
JJ2 and his teammate Typer here. It's up against Bevies.
Yeah, that's a serious awareness check right there.
Yeah. I mean, weren't here last game, right? So maybe that was the whole, just over safety. Is that his teammate? Yeah, it is. Types in the business. Love the outfit, by the way.
Is that what it's come to now?
Whoa.
The outfit.
No, it's a nice outfit, man. Look at that. Hitting the emote too. Dance on him. Both big in the business, but my man is a 1v2. Might be a 1v1 if the two loses his footing. I call him out. See, and that gave him the courage, the passion to hit the shots. That's the relationship right there.
For the people at home, Shywager is replicating the emote in person. I wish they'd just record you doing this stuff and that. Instead of the analyst doing a package, they just show highlights of you during the game. Crazy stuff. Well, another fight at the Sanctuary. This time round they win. Last game was the Joneses. First game Sanctuary, second game Sanctuary. This game, last game, a lot of stuff on this side of the map. That's what I'm trying to say right now. Words aren't my specialty, surprisingly enough.
Caster, by the way.
Yeah, well, look. I've actually scammed my way into this position, actually.
Oh, yeah.
I deceived the world and told people I was a caster. I'm actually just a guy.
Yeah, it's just, this man was tall, right? And so we're like,
we need one tall person. And
it has to be, you can tell no lies. He's just too tall to. They don't do that at that hemisphere, latitude, I don't know, altitude. That's
words aren't your specialty either.
Words are, sometimes.
Chonka Speedway.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Chonka Speedway.
I'm down.
Let's shoot Swilliam at Chonka Speedway. Let's talk about Let's shoot Swilliam.
So specifically, Let's shoot Swilliam, Chonka Speedway. If they win off spawn, they can win the game. If that doesn't happen, it's trouble. Now, yeah, okay, forehead, what are you getting at? There is no room for consistency for this team. For them, it's VR or bust. And the first hurdle they have to fight, there's a lack of control on it overall. It's not like they get to get shielded up, get a few weapons, attack the map a little bit, get one rotation in, and then fight a team on their terms. It's almost immediate. And if your glide is wrong, if your chair is angled the wrong way, if your arm is itchy, all of that can affect how that fight goes. There's so many factors outside the game. I don't even want to bring up the ones that can happen inside of the game right off of spawn. That's tough to have in the mix as your win condition. It's unfortunate for the team. But that's the nature of the 50-50 fights. And that's the nature of being that powerful and aggressive on the map. Like, Leshy Swilliam, we talked about it a little bit. Minnie brought it up. When they do win this off-spawn fight, we've seen it in the previous semifinals, they are very likely to get that ticket or have a chance to, at least comparatively to other teams, straight to the finals off of a win. Meanwhile, Liza and Mirza might be a little bit more consistency we're looking at for this duo specifically, or one of those pocket wins on day 3. They have 13 points for the moment. Their overall formula for attacking game hasn't been fully defined just yet. They still are a little bit of a mystery on day number 2, but they have 3 more games, this one included, to try to figure that out.
Yeah, I'd say when it comes to how things have played out for them, it's not been the greatest of days. Maybe that's a bit of an understatement, right? Sitting well behind in the standings. You can see it. They were actually able to take the Freezy out over towards Logjam Lumberyard. Wow, so doing Eyedrop and Juriki some favors there, right? Getting the revenge, it seems. And maybe that will be the sort of boost they need to propel themselves. The big problem with these guys, right, is that they've had a lot of surge issues in the previous games. And it's almost like it's a set lobby format, so you don't get this, right? But like when you're playing like a cash cup or something, and like you spend the whole game, like you spend 18 minutes in the game, but you basically get like no points for it, right?
Yeah.
It's like that kind of vibe, right? Like they're not like just going down straight off spawn or nothing. They're staying very deep in these games, but they're just not accumulating many points, getting many eliminations. And that's what's pushed them further down the standings. But a nice start picking up the Freezy there, of course. Dealing with that team appropriately. And again, I think the biggest thing about this game that there is to be excited about is that it's a new flavor in terms of the zones, right?
Yeah.
Of course, we've seen a bit of repetition on that side.
That's my fault. But I fixed it.
Yeah.
Rat Condo Canyon. We're looking at new real estate. Looking at Zestin and Hookah specifically. 3rd place overall today, Levin. Talk to me a little bit about their performance. How's their history looked on the day? What are we looking at for this duo? Specifically for what I've seen in Endgame, it has been a little bit of that mid-ground, low-ground action for them. But I think it's kind of alongside Benji and Savage. They're looking for that consistency, that top 6.
Well, yeah, it's great that we mentioned both those duos. Hookah and Zestin, we mentioned the zones being a factor. It's not been a factor for them. They land literally the actual furthest southeast on the map at Condo.
Oh, wow.
Right? So this have been quote-unquote difficult zones, but they've dealt with them well. Benji and Savage, though, I'm going to just take a moment. Let's just have a moment to appreciate this. Because if you told me, right, a week ago, it's going to be the FNCS semi-finals, Benji and Savage are going to be leading in the semi-finals on consistency, I would have called you a madman. I would have looked at you in the eyes, I would have called you a madman, and I would have told you to go, you know, do something else. Fortnite's not for you, is what I would have said to you.
Yeah.
Right? But they're here, and they are the #1 most consistent team across the first 3 games.
Now, things can change, and they have, in that aspect, from the first 3. But once again, the people you're bringing up, it is Benji and Savage we're talking about. I feel like they only get stronger. Choke for them is something they put on front of the pump. If that is how weapons work, if there were attack, I don't know.
Yeah, I see where you're going.
They don't have that word in their vocabulary.
Yeah. But they've just been showing up today, right? We saw last game, the shots that Savage was hitting on rotation. Mid-slide, burst assault rifle in his hand. 46 headshot. When he's doing that, what's they going to be consistent, you know what I mean? When that's the kind of stuff he's doing in endgame, right? Benji, single-handedly taking people down, right? These are the kind of things you want to see from these guys. I don't want to see this. But when it comes to Janice and Vortex, this is not good whatsoever. I saw Janice tweeting before this game how I choked so badly. Coming into the next one, seems to be along similar lines in that regard. Vortex now playing as a solo. It's not looking great. They are sitting just outside of that consistency threshold. They're sitting in 9th. They want to be in the top 6. And so this kind of game, going down at this point, would not be ideal whatsoever. Vortex has a very, very difficult ride in terms of trying to find and salvage anything out of this game.
We'll try his best for now. A lot of people around him are just looking to slightly play passive and not make too many mistakes just yet. 25th and 34th, respectively, are the teams surrounding his box, and they still have a chance to just have a few good games and be all cool. Vortex is just disrespectful. Has a way to get way far away from the teams, but chooses to just hit the roof above him and alter the flight line just to cause a little bit of damage. So much available in terms of heals inside his inventory, but doesn't like to delay too long. Shmeki takes him out.
Gabix and Shmeki over on this side of the map. Now a bit of a change from what we've seen. Pink and Nash just qualified through topside command. They decided we're hopping right in there. They're landing topside command now. And not only are they landing there, Shayo, not only are they landing there, they are actually being coached by Pink.
Really?
Yes.
A man of many talents.
Yes.
Plays the semifinal. Instantly looking for profits. I like it.
I love it.
Yep.
I love it.
I hope that percentage is above 20 in terms of
if it was
finals
me,
cut.
I'm taking 50% of it.
If it was me, I'm taking 75%.
Look, big expectation. Now that we've dropped that news, everyone's going to be watching this, right? You have Pink in your corner, giving you all the straps, all the tips, right? You're landing at the POI. What can he do out of it? Nice to pick up Vortex there. That will do wonders for Surge as well. But yeah, this is great. I actually met those two as well at the media day. Wonderful guys. Shmeki, like, he's like, look.
In-game the same, or?
Look,
okay, nice. That's the only answer I need.
He's a cool guy.
Yeah.
You know, like when someone's just cool.
Yeah, like cool as in like folded arms and like sunglasses cool, or just like level-headed.
You know, like Monster D-Face, the enemy.
Yeah.
He's a cool.
Nice
Shmeki's like that.
tagline, yeah.
Yeah, he's just cool.
Yeah.
You know, Shmeki's just a cool guy. So, see, Letshi, hot-headed.
Okay, I was about to go there. Yeah.
In game, he's not cool right now. Hot-headed. He doesn't have Swilliam with him. And so he's trying to take out that anger on U3 and that, wow. What chapter are we in, right? This is like some chapter 2 season 1 stuff we're seeing here from
exponential type of gameplay happening at the moment. The bar is so high in terms of where this can go.
He's really showing us his legacy, right?
Yeah, really showing us how much of just the story he's left behind and how much he can just multiply by the same number over and over again. If you try to divide by 0, though, you just get nerfed down. Is there anyone left that we missed?
Look. It's unknown.
It's unknown, yeah. It's unknown. It's definitely unknown.
Definitely unknown whether we missed anyone or not. Look, Vettel and Lotix based up over here towards the east of the Joneses. They need to start hitting some shots. The general positioning isn't amazing in terms of the influx of players sort of getting into this general area, but there do seem to be opportunities. You can see Lotix has his eyes on it, but those players seemingly have moved, right? So, oh, he's actually been shot. Okay, so this situation is a bit more complicated than what we made out to seem. They're in the midst of battle right now. They are at it, at the Joneses, and so 2 HP, very fortunate to be alive right now, as he was chopped down. Very, like he's actually super lucky. He should be knocked actually right now, to be fair.
Well, 11, if you crouch at the right angle and you know exactly how high you are on the ramp by the certain degree, I mean, you know, I met Lotix on Media Day in my dreams, and he was telling me exactly about this specific circumstance and exactly how he would handle lethal fall damage. So, you know, you had to be there.
Yeah, you just had to be there, right?
Yeah. So now you know how I feel every time you bring this up, man. I'm like, oh my God, Walks.
What?
We have another one in the server.
He's not even controller though, but he's looking like it.
I'm saying, I was mentioning demons, you know, Savage. Let's see.
Yeah.
He's not though, that's crazy.
Wox, the Swede, hitting some big shots there when it matters the most. That damage will be quintessential to their ability to do well in this game.
Yeah, lots of different people on the feed falling. A lot of our long stayers. One of them, it looks like, is Benji Fishy.
Oh no.
Savage at the back, this time it's clutch mode activated? No, denied. Dan and Naco, I mentioned this in game 1, they were looking for a sense of leadership, control, trying to find it. Finally do, but it's the cost of the first place team. Tropex Victor, switching up the spots, switching up the style as well. First time they have a voice inside the mid game. They roll in. Cosmo had a very nice early game this time. Unfortunately, he's not going to make it all the way towards mid. And I think iDrop and Jerky fall at the same time as Savage and Benji do. While that replay was going on across the map, they don't win their fight either. So Leon Fire will still be left over on this side of Bifrost. This is too much for these teams, man. They cannot handle the beam.
Victor, look, Tropex had no clue. Tropex was just rotating in, all he hears. Straight, turns around, he's like, hold on, what's up here? Oh man, okay, well he gets him up, which is nice, but definitely a setback. Minor setbacks, so major comebacks is the motto.
Okay. I actually like that for the day. Say that again real quick so I can remember it.
Minor setbacks.
Minor setbacks.
Major comebacks.
Major comebacks.
Yeah.
Nice. We'll hear that again this game.
Yeah.
I'm running out of words with these enemies, but I'm taking something.
Fortnite.
It's true. It's true.
Time.
Sometimes you gotta say the same things twice, 3 times.
Nobody will know.
Sure. There's some people who are diehard Fortnite fans. You know?
Like us?
Yeah. No, but there's like Twitter accounts dedicated. I've heard of people, and big shout outs to them, they're taking off work to watch the semifinals. It's glorious.
Anybody taking
Garrett on Twitter specifically.
Shout out.
Yeah.
Shout
so
out
cool.
To these guys.
Yeah.
Shout out to all these guys.
The commitment.
We appreciate you. We do appreciate you. Keep up the love and the support. But support the players as well, right? We got a lot of players sort of teetering along this zone line here towards the Joneses. This is what you sort of get whenever you get these zones that are quite extreme, pull very far across the map.
Yeah.
The fortunate thing, right, is that zone has pulled back for a lot of these teams, so the journey to the next one isn't too far, right? You just got to sort of move in a couple meters. The problem is you're so tightly packed next to so many of these other teams that if you haven't dealt with your surge, you're going to be in a position like Milad and Shady here, where you are just desperately trying to find a way in. And if somebody has armored walls, they're just going to delay you. The frustration starts to kick in. You know, you're sort of just gnawing against his wall. Maybe you lose concentration, you get yourself caught out, just like Shady has here. And so now Milad as a solo has to rest the team's fate on his shoulders. Moneymaker, the one to take Shady out. And Bloomy, I'm sure, will be praising his young apprentice for the good work.
Listen, I'm going to give you a hypothetical right now, Levin.
Hit me.
Laser beam pointed at the Fortnite island.
Okay.
All right? And the zone is on the sanctuary.
Okay.
What duo are you picking in the sanctuary to win the game?
I want Mongrel.
Okay. I want JJ2 in the business.
Okay.
Think about it. The whole time today, this man, this part of the map never gets zoned. It's one of the most least ones. He's bouncing back Jones's sanctuary, Jones's sanctuary. Finally, we get a Sanctuary S zone. It goes towards the Joneses. I hope he's alive somewhere right
He's
now.
home. I hope JJ2 is somewhere in this game.
He probably went down on spawn, because I have not seen him yet.
Yeah, I've not seen him. Milad eventually went down. Moneymaker took him out as well. So Moneymaker doing some great work now. The young prodigy shining through. Lawless and SD, a chance at redemption. We saw them struggling and hustling and bustling. Oh my goodness, JJ2. Oh no!
Oh my God!
JJ2, the dream is no longer alive. He doesn't get to play a game out here at the Joneses. Oh man, Lawless and SD really they don't care.
They're happiness takers, man. Imagine how excited you are. It's like your favorite artist coming to tour your town, but you live like in Alaska, like in a remote location, like you're in the Arctic Circle.
Yeah.
And like, you know, oh my goodness.
Wow, dream shatterers in the lobby. Thomas and Trippin have been shattering my dreams today.
Scott's back on the other side of the bench. No way.
Thomas, look, what's the info here? Thomas is average.
What's your faith meter at? Now, hold on.
Where he gets a sniper limb and 18th in all others. I hope he's got a sniper limb in this game,
I don't see a sniper in the inventory.
Well, you know,
Headshots don't hit the same this season.
Oh, man.
Listen, they got zone. Where is your faith meter at right now?
If they win, my faith will...
And if they lose?
Who are they?
Oh my goodness, the meter's dangerous.
I'm
today.
shameless today. I don't care.
You're on one right now.
Yeah.
Now first, also, I noticed in mid-game, very good Spire-like spot. Looking fine for now. Third place, Zest and Hookah with Benji down. I mean, they have a chance to really just take it all the way to the top.
This is the opportunity to push back higher up in the standings. We talked about how this is a zone that favors them in terms of the side of the map. They land at Kondo Canyon. It's been a day where they've had to traverse, you know, miles and miles, right? Probably amassing some of the highest amounts of distance we've seen from any team. Waze, not much distance to go to getting back to the lobby. He actually sent straight back there by the rest of the lobby, taken out while gliding, as Julian Com was nowhere to be found. But things are really setting up to be interesting now. We'll see where the first moving zone is going to pull towards. Diox and Waffler. Waffler just jumping around, waiting for that to kick in. And once he sees that it's north, he starts to look to how he can plan his way into the zone.
Right now, for all these teams inside the top 5, it's about beating Benji, surpassing Savage. So far, they've had a bunch of minor setbacks that haven't pushed them over the 100-point range. But now it's time for the major comeback with the first place team not in the game.
And Bloomy, a moneymaker, a team who out of Command Cavern, that general area, just haven't been quite as successful as they would have wanted to be. And this is a chance for them to have a major comeback in their pursuit of that finals. Can they hold on to height? That's what they want to do. But holding it from first moving, we know the trials and tribulations team face when doing that. Some nice shots to deter people from landing on their high ground. But will it be enough? There are still teams who will look towards it. In the meantime, though, towards the front of the zone, Hookah and Zeston looking to try claim territory there. Diox and Waffler not really claiming anything right now, just trying to hang on into this game as they make their way to the zone. Diox, such low materials now, trying to go for a sneaky play. The mantle,
no way.
the E-mechanics coming through. Diox doesn't miss. And so that is huge. He tries to do it again. Loki, the one taken out. The med miss is nice. The refresh coming in will be essential to him staying in the game. But really nice plays there from Diox. A struggling player in the back of the zone, thriving in that environment in the meantime.
He'll move. Zox is in the business too with Kovacs, trying to find that revive. It might not be possible for the moment. Idiot hard find all the way on second height. They're also moving in. Hookah now finally down in this home zone that Zeston has it's been a type of invasion by the rest of the lobby. Too much for them to handle. The security is just not there on their builds. He's going to be forced all the way to low. As many mats to work with. Meanwhile, though, as he's active, you look in the feed on height, it's getting crazy. So many different trades towards the skies. Zestin gets to just live and ride by. For Rox, it's also so good. It's low-key for everyone in mid and low. Height change, so many hands now as Melody and Keffi in the business. Another pad all the way up top. Keffi has to get ready for the land down, but no. It will be Rox right below them, or just right in their line of sight, not really getting hit. SD opens up the block. Lois is there as well, just to land that shot and claim another body, claim even more mats, and then get damaged and taken out. So close. Thomas HD with the refresh as well. Inside the back half of the zone. Medmist up in play. That's 300 HP total. He gets to run in with, but he can't mantle. He can't really do much, but stay at this speed. Has to just keep low-key until he gets into one more circumstance to get that refresh.
Yeah, he was able to take Michael out, and he's just sort of keeping himself in the game. He needs to be careful. The Height team can't afford to see him. 3 HP, just getting in by the skin of his teeth. He needs to hold on at this moment. Zrox now as a solo. He's trying to stay in the game as well, mantling up, trying to find an angle. He finds Astro and Zido, but Astro does well to get out of dodge, hold on some builds, and so Zrox will go down. Keffi, the Height team, able to take him out. Astro, he doesn't have Michael with him. He has 3 eliminations to his name, though, and so the dream is still alive. The Medmist will get him up in HP. And you can see Moneymaker in the back of the zone now trying to go for a cheeky solo play if he can. Melody and Keffi, though, they're doing so brilliantly here. 5 eliminations. You can see they're eager beavers trying to find eliminations. They want to clear out the rest of the lobby. They understand what this moment is. Astro, though, in this moment, with just 6 HP trying to fight his way on up. It's going to be so difficult. The Medmist coming through. What is going on in the back of the zone? Aeon Flares goes down. Astro coming in. Oh my goodness, Melody and Keffi, they're trying to figure out what's going on, but none of that matters. You need to just focus on the win now, boys. And you can see they're waiting in zone. They know players are healing up. They're trying to just stay in this one, and it looks like they can do it. Moneymaker with a lot of Medmist, but maybe not enough to really pose a threat to them. He's going to keep the game ticking, the clock going, and he's running into zone. He knows it's too hard to hang on. He wants to try maybe use this striker pump to some damage. He gets in, and in a very sneaky position, Shire, one that they won't be having vision on, and so it's all about whether or not they realize he's there. The footsteps will go off. They know, they realize they have to hit the shots though. 1 build left for Keffi isn't going to be great. The Medmist allows him to just keep going in this game. Keffi down to such low HP though now. If he actually drops down and isn't careful, Moneymaker will make good use of him. And so he has to hit this shot. You can see just patiently stalking him up from above, waiting for the edit, waiting for the moment to come. And running out. He realizes now the time is finally ticking. Moneymaker, can he do it? He has
no way.
Refresh. That is huge. That gives him extra time. The Medmist has run out. Melody has it though. Melody has the Medmist that will keep him in the game. Can Moneymaker find him? Sliding his way through. 1 second left. No, it's not enough for Moneymaker. Melody will close it out. Keffi and Melody made us go to the final moments, They had us on the tip of our chairs, but eventually they will be the ones to win the game.
Hey, they're making you work for your job there, Lemon.
Yeah, man.
All the way at the end. A perfect orchestra, though, from Melody and Keffi all the way up top. They take a little bit of a rest, get some silence involved in that banger track all the way towards the finals. They take the VR, and they just take a beautiful game, slightly with suspense. Take a breath, though, man. Take a breath. Yeah. That was fun to see from Keffi and Melody. Lots of big names also making it so deep inside that 111. I mean, I will give you the rest you deserve. I think Zeke, Mini, and Reese can take over for this one specifically. What else did we miss before the games and the day wraps up?
Guys, you are crushing these casts. My goodness, the hype is unreal. Reese, there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes that we saw specifically. We're just losing our minds in the back there. We're talking technical play from a West team, rotating on the east side of the zone. Little things like the metal walls going down at very key moments. Talk me through it.
Straight up. Firstly, Kefi Melody, great play.
Of course.
Go from them. Victory Royale from them going up on the high ground, right? That was kind of like clinical at this
Very
point.
clinical.
We saw them go up kind of a little bit later. It was obviously Bloomy and Moneymakers who was up there at that moment. But one of the things we would have noticed is at this point, 3 builds, right? This was pretty much their entire hype run. I'm not even going to lie. I'm not sure how they managed to sustain this. We saw them continually land on some materials that were just like sitting on the floor. And all of the low ground teams at this point, outside of Moneymaker, also had no builds.
Yeah, what it seemed like for this team, they were picking up eliminations, but they weren't able to pick up the refreshes as well. And that was just causing them to run out of materials up on the high ground. On the other side of things, Moneymaker did have the materials. And we were talking a little bit, Reese. We were saying, this is clutchable. And it very, very nearly was. I think it was just for maybe one little edit down on one of the players up above. It could have done it for him. It was close nevertheless, though.
Man, it could have been good.
Oh, it
could have been so good. One of the things we're talking about, the technical plays that I love, right? You know, we've been watching SD and Lawless a lot. They're going up there in the consistency of the board. This wasn't their best game by far, but that's for a good reason, right? We've been talking about West zones. We finally have an East zone.
We do.
We have a Southeast zone at this point. And for SD and Lawless, right, they were like on this far kind of southeast-hand side. And this was kind of the play that caught it up to them. You can see them on that full east side. They were actually, I think it was something like 150 below surge at that moment. And this is the fight that actually won it for them. They were basically wrapped that entire way around the zone, got to this point, and had to make that aggressive play. And you know what? If you get these guys stacked in endgame, as we've seen, like they're going to frag out.
Yeah, they really will. And of course, they were below on surge, and they went to the less congested side of the zone. And we saw, wasn't it, Jerky and iDrop trying to do the same thing early on, the exact same play, going on to that less congested side of the zone. But Lotus and SD were sort of clinical enough, we'll use the word again, to pick up the elimination and pick up the storm surge where it mattered most. We saw pre-edits coming through, we saw hitting shots, we saw clinicalness again from this team.
Yeah.
We like the word here. It's great.
It's good. It's okay.
It's a very good word. But no, these guys have absolutely put on a show. And unfortunately, as you said, it wasn't their best game. But for an East zone, I'd almost say this is a very, very solid performance.
Yeah, I mean, still a day game, bunch of eliminations. Obviously, they went down. I think it was around top 10 at this point. We can see that moment right here, obviously, where they do go down. But I think the proactiveness from this team is good, right? You know, for Surge, you have to get ahead of it. And as soon as they kind of saw that they weren't, they were like, this is the time to make the aggressive play. This is the time to jump into those boxes with the pre-edits, unlike, obviously, Juriki did. But standings are up here right now. Look who's on top still.
They're holding it down, Benji Fishy Savage. Now, they did go down early. They had some really great tags there, kind of leading into the moving zones, but then did kind of fall. So, you know, they're kind of holding down, but that's not really too safe. I mean, especially when you look at like 6th place, right? 95 points, they're not safe by any means.
Yeah, this is something that we were talking about earlier on. Of course, Benji Fishy just sitting outside of Tilted Towers while Savage was looting and just sort of finding his bearings in there, but he was picking up crucial Storm Surge tags going into the end game. Of course, we know it's a very, very East zone, so maybe not preferable for Benji and Savage, but they were able to use some of the rotational devices around the area. But what I noticed about this team really, really strongly was that they were able to use Storm Surge for people coming out of the Collider. Of course, we talked about it, Reese, as well. This is a very interesting play because it's a brand new POI, and it's teams that are sort of being funneled into the Tilted Towers area, of course using all the rotation items there, and Benji and Savage were able to pick up on that.
Yeah, and obviously we saw them take advantage of it. We've yet to really see a lot of the other successful players get set up in that area to take advantage of those players rotating up in the sky, you know, flying through past. But realistically, they've actually lessened the gap now. They were like 30 points in first place, and now they've closed it. You know, they had a good early game, but then that rotation they had to make far, not so great.
Yeah, they need to change up something if they hope to make either that, hold on to that first place spot or get themselves a victory route before the day is done. But they're doing well. It's just a little misstep. Everything's
okay.
Yeah, everything's okay. I'm gonna hold my breath. It's fine. Everything's fine. Fortnite fam, we're getting ready to jump all back on this battle bus. So let's get it popping once again. We've got Levinger, we've got Shy Wager. Now we've got our game.
Levin's had a nice 3-month rest after that last game.
I needed it.
How did the bed feel? How was the vacation?
Look, it was comfy. I'm loving it out here, you know. But I'm back ready to work, ready to get stuck into all the action.
Yeah, and there was no rest for any of these teams. Just had a mini break maybe for 5 seconds between that game and this one. And now they're ready to go again for some of those who made endgame. Levin, it's all about the win. It's all about the top 6. We got 2 more games left to go.
Well, look, you're talking about breaks. Some of these teams who went down off spawn, they've had a long break, half an hour or so to just really sit there and ponder on what went wrong. But this is now their time for redemption, a time to really put in the work when it matters the most.
Yeah, I mean, all it is now is to learn from all your mistakes. Not really that much more chance for a change, right? The last 2 games is to maybe go from plan C back to plan A, if anything. But still big names that are making a few of those mistakes. I Drop Jerky, Thomas Tayson, and Thomas Trippern. Apologies, yo, I'm an old head right now. You know how it goes. We'll see Tayson in the finals. Might see Tayson say a few things about what I just said too. But regardless, let's get into game 5. No need to theorize what we see on the field off the battle bus.
Time for the penultimate game of day 2, session 2 of the FNCS semi-finals. It's been a long day, but one that we have thoroughly enjoyed to break down all the action. And a fight that we have thoroughly enjoyed to watch over the past couple games has been this one over towards Greasy. And so we're going to see how things kick off here over at the main build. And Alien and Hardfind not actually getting the weaponry that they need. Hardfind does, and so he takes down Nano. And that drum shotgun will come in clutch.
Wow.
Hardfind winning it out. ADN couldn't beat out Loot, but Hardfind came in with the insurance ready to strike.
And finally, they end up taking the fight fast against Nano super early. Talk about early droppings. Yeah, it's Jerky. Just completely timbered down in the lumberyard. All of the big drop to win this one out.
Yeah, and throughout today, it's actually been the shoe on the other foot, right? In the previous games, in almost every single game now, it feels like since game 1, iDrop is the one to go down first. Jerky has to do the dirty work. But this time round, iDrop now with that responsibility, can he hold on? It doesn't seem like it. Lusher and the Freezy doing everything they can to make it so uncomfortable, so stressful for him as he moves through these games. And you can see he's trying to elevate himself, but they will just find
They know.
Oh my goodness, they make it look easy as well.
Every single time, Levin, it's faster the way they're running this off-spawn POI. Every single time we see iDrop on the outskirts, the shingles of these buildings in the lumberyard taken down by specifically the Freezy. He has the tracking in tow. He knows exactly when to split off and go for the fight, go for the hunt. And they are slowly climbing up the ranks as well. A team that was kind of in 20th place off of a little bit of 5th, 6th zone action and a few off-spawn fights going well their way. 12th place now overall. In game 5, that's a good spot to be at. You make it to where some of these end game placements as the Freezy, you're going to be in a spot in game 6 to hit that top 6.
Speaking of a team who have definitely entrenched themselves in that top 6, Lawless and SD. A team who, if they are able to hold on and qualify through to the FNCS finals, will very much feel like it's been a long time coming. They have basically played in every single session that we've broadcasted of FNCS. And some of them have gone quite well, some of them haven't gone too good. But this one so far, not looking too bad. Nako and Dando over here towards the south side of the Collider, up against Jackson and Vico, a fight we've seen from yesterday. We haven't tuned into it much today, but nevertheless, it has still been prevalent. And Vico almost catching Nako there, just didn't have the striker ready to... Oh, strike? Words. Anyway.
Close one.
This fight will continue.
Yeah.
You can see they're building up towards the top. Jackson, the tree in his way, but won't be enough to stop him. Connects with the shots. Nako and Dan will go down, the Spaniards. I did see those guys at Media Day as well.
Nice.
Nothing really cool to say.
How long was this day, man?
This was a lot. It was a long but fun Media Day. My only interaction with them for the most part was me walking behind them and saying, "Vamos España." So
limited communication. You speak the language of the pad more than most languages available on Earth. I've seen it. Tropex. Speaking the language of sleeping at Greasy Grove. Doesn't matter how it goes. I mean, I like the adjustment last game of landing outside it, and they made it pretty deep into the game after the fact, but didn't find much success inside the 4th and 5th zone. They go back home. But at home, there's no love. In Greasy, only war. It's not me and Junior here now, and that's gonna be a tough one for a bunch of teams. Not sure where they were starting the day, but I don't think they were really aggressing Grove this fast over and over again.
Yeah, this is an interesting one to see those guys over here, to say the least. They obviously a team who we did see have a good run. I believe it was in game 3 or 4, but been rather quiet outside of that for the most part today. But for hard find and ADN, a really nice start. Hard find with 5 eliminations. Can we get a limb check right now? ADN, got to start picking up the weight here, mate. I know ADN, so.
Okay.
I'm not flaming him. Yeah,
Respect, we have to add it respectfully after.
yeah, but he knows to respect.
Okay.
Benjamin Savage still in #1. Mr. Consistent.
Hey, they missed out on a game though.
And they're still at #1. Says everything you need to know about the previous games before that, right?
Yeah, I guess so. It's just banger after banger. But man, after game 5, if they don't get towards that 130, 140, it's not free. You know, there'll be a cost in that game 6.
True. A good game here would mean that game 6, they could maybe sit back and relax a bit. And so we'll see whether or not that they can keep their composure. It's very easy to get ahead of yourself once you're in first place.
They want to keep it not difficult, windy, and good looking. You know what I mean?
I don't know what you mean. I'm sorry.
Easy, breezy, and then
Oh my god.
yeah, they want to make sure everything is just flowing. Luscious locks down on the end game and just, you know, in general. Look at this, where we at? I'm actually liking this spot a lot today. Sanctuary and the Jones.
I'm loving it. You know, unironically, I am loving.
It feels like Risky Reels, season 7, chapter 1.
Oh wow.
Everyone is here. There's some sort of challenge. I don't know what it is. It's a classic type beat of I just.
So, sorry to cut you off here, but what I want to know more so than anything is what happened to Coach Pink? Why are Schmecky and Gabix here and not at command?
So, I think this is just purely theoretical.
Okay.
Pink just qualified for the finals. Right? Tunes in. Actually, this is based off my media day experience with Pink.
Oh, really?
That I had in my dreams.
Okay.
So let me give that context real quick. Saw how they played in that last game too, and Pink didn't want to bother anymore. It was like, it's fine. I did my job for the day already. There's not much more I can do. Maybe they also kind of just saw how the fight's going over here. Why not just go third party? Why not just have a fun time overall? But we'll see the changes. Lola's SC, we talked about them just a little bit. Getting so close to Benji and Savage now. That's what happens when you just skip out on one game. Second place, the people who are hungry at the bottom, they just come and try to find you. Not going to be a complete home zone for them, but not too far to crawl away from Camp Cuddle. Meanwhile, Thomas HD and Stripburn. Visible frustration from Mr. 2K on my right here. Faith meter has been thrown in the trash, actually. In the recycling. Got to respect the city right now. And we can't take it back. We can't reuse it if possible, 11. Unless you want to keep the Faith meter way far away.
Look, they are max materials right now. They're looking for some positioning to find some surge damage. You can see making sure to get out of command cabin, almost a covert cabin there. It's command now, getting out of command cabin. And they have got launch pads this game, which was something I was wondering about, because we hadn't seen them with them. But yeah, it's not looking great, is it? Because let's be real. Zone's pulled all the way towards the south. They got to keep going. If I was them, I would just get in the river and just rotate all the way down.
You want to get in the river, and you see the left side of your screen. I mean, it just went away. The same river that has like 17 different people ready to follow them, and 10 more people waiting to see who comes through the river.
Come on, bro. They can just go.
No, 100%. There's more people down there.
Oh, okay. They're fine. 100% they're fine there, right?
So then do it.
There was only like one team maybe that if they were to be seen did have a problem, but then you build in wood. Maybe even brick, because brick is a lot easier to find. I feel like they farm in this southern area of the map than wood. The wood not really great other than like the cactuses, but they're not great either. But anyway, I'm getting on a tangent about like small specific things about the game here. Look, Thomas and Trippin, just do good. Yeah, fine Surge, do good. You saw they were trying to do damage over towards that tilted side. Wasn't looking great. Merza, Ryzen,
Nice.
doing good now. Nice,
Yeah.
good job.
But they need a win. That's the thing. Nothing matters right now for them but a win.
Last time we saw them, it was similar, right? Last game, we saw them, they were getting like an elimination. It was not bad,
Not at all.
but
Yeah. I mean, we'll see what they have in the tank. Many players all around the map. Mini Minders here with some info on a few.
Thank you, Shai. You just mentioned there a team that needs a win. Another team that needs a win is, of course, ADN and Hardfine. Hardfine here picking up so many eliminations off spawn, 5, in fact, which really sorts them out for their Storm Surge early on. This is a really, really great position for them to be in because, of course, they need the win. They can just chill now on the Storm Surge side of things. Just chill, loot up, stick around here for a little bit, but they don't want to stay here for too long because, of course, they don't want to get caught out by the other Storm Surge that's going to be coming.
Oh, yes, okay. Thank you, Mr. Mini Miner. What that basically means, what he's trying to say, well, what we can see now after watching a bit more of the game as well, is that they get to skip a bunch of these steps that every other team is taking. In getting the win, it's going to be clear and an easy path and road. They just have to make the right steps to avoid any type of altercations. They don't have to edit open boxes to keep up with Surge. 5 eliminations, that's a lot of damage. And when they hopefully do win this game, we can see the start of that story early. Get that. Nice context past that as well, though. Xerox, Kovacs, they're in the business. Moneymaker, Gloomy. How did they get in 6th?
because they came second last game.
Respectfully.
Yeah, remember Moneymaker didn't want to let me breathe?
Yeah.
Towards the end there.
Listen, see, I was actually just watching you and the sweat beat up.
See, look, the sim rotation, a bit late. A bit late, Candid, but
Yeah.
look, downstream. I love me a good old. Who says there's no more natural map mobility, right?
I do.
Well,
And I'm wrong
you're
because
right.
there's rivers and there's geysers. I think no one has that sentiment
The geysers
at all.
are- the geysers
And there's
are
pads
correct.
and there's what is it? The cannons,
Cannons, the
and
siege
there's the
cannons.
collider.
The collider.
There's
though.
literally no one who says that anymore, even unironically. Like no one ever complains about that.
Yeah. you get
There's
some people.
rifts as well.
Yeah, actually,
They literally
Yeah.
find the person and tell me,
Well,
and I'll talk to them.
Easy last week, basically.
Queasy just complains about the pads that he has. He doesn't complain about the map mobility.
Bloomy and
What me on what?
Maker aren't looking too good. They just came second place.
Say mini maker or money maker?
Did I
I
say
think you said mini maker.
Did I say Mini Maker?
Yeah,
Sorry, Mini Miner and Money Maker. Combining the two.
yeah. It's all good. That's compliments to both.
Well, they both came second place.
Nah, because like you're calling an analyst a good player and a player good
151
analyst.
below.
All right.
Bloomy and Moneymaker. They need to get into zone. They need to do some damage. There's a team here, Nafreezy and Lusher.
Oh, no way.
Does Bloomy know? Okay, yeah, he hears them. They actually do make use of a geyser, which is nice. We're just talking about them. Not many of them around the map. They actually moved the locations of them around a bit in the recent sort of patches. So it's nice. You can sort of change them together a bit. But Bloomy's got to be careful if he glides in here. I don't think anybody has his eyes on him, but he has his eyes set on getting in this box. He wants to do damage. The combat, I think he will be brilliant now for getting in. Moneymaker as well, connecting with some shots could do wonders, but a bit too big for their boots. They go down literally in a matter of seconds, in a matter of a flash. They're taken out. Second place team going out that early without really much of a fight. They were in 6th place as well. So that 6th place slot, we're talking about qualifying to the FNCS finals on consistency, is up for grabs.
Rest of the lobby will be very happy about that one. They're going to be just shivering in their boots, waiting for Game 6 to roll by, trying to get a little bit of redemption. Wise now picking up the pace as well. Pedal down. Darkness in the same type of business and spot as him as well. Will be able to take one of the eliminations away and confirm it for that team. Runny and Leader are just fighting right now, and the most impressive thing is not taking too much damage in these crazy box fights on the one side of the zone. The biggest issue with these, especially in brick and metal, is you never know exactly who's waiting and coming by next and how your rotation really looks like immediately. It's so hard to be able to have any sense around your boxes. You're basically deprived entirely, and they have such a long way to go still. I think this is almost max rotation. If they're any more slightly west, it'd be even more so difficult. Lots of elims though, and Leader kind of leaves with what? 18 minis instead of crazy utility. Here's Thomas and Tripper. And I believe Dandiff, no, they actually took the high ground from an Austin Pink. Might have actually taken it from Thomas and Tripper at some point, but no, it was not the case.
Like 800 above. Like,
Yeah.
I just don't even want to say anything about these guys, man, because they've not got to worry about Surge a bit. They have pads, they have max materials, they have God loadout, they have nice positioning. I honestly, I have no words.
Listen.
Like,
No. Listen. The biggest thing that we've seen so far from this team is they've been forced to be lax. They've had a bunch of zones. I mentioned this kind of in game 2. When a team has to move a long way, their brains are a bit more active. They feel like they're playing the game. They get to see things. They get to travel, explore. I think that's all Thomas and Tripper needed. They don't want the home zone.
I don't care what they want. I want them to win.
We need to get Levin some food and water.
It's stressing me out, man. It's stressing me out. Waffler and Diox, so we saw Diox hitting some huge shots in endgame. Waffler hitting some of his own now. I think this is a very interesting team to watch because you see they've been the third most consistent on the day so far. And it's because of great solo plays in the endgame, right? They're able to do well to get there. They obviously have a pad this game, which will work wonders for them. They're going to be good on Surge as well. They have a really nice position in the zone. We'll see where next one pops. They can get to zone very easily for the next rotation as well. So things are setting up for them to have another game where they really start to solidify themselves going into that last game.
We talked about the bottom of the kind of top 6 dropping down and opening up as well.
As you can see, Huka and Zeston wrecking from that spot, right? Another zone that would be very favorable to them in that regard, right? Of course, it's sitting in 4th place. Oh, what? That is nasty from Zeston. That's the kind of awareness I want my duo to have, right? He was on it, did not give them he didn't even let them get the chance to close that edit quick enough before the shields got cracked. Really nice stuff there from Zeston. And even though they don't get the elimination, that's huge. You alleviate the worries of Storm Surge and all the other factors in their game right now.
Thing is, with so many people side by side and everyone trying to make a better box after clasping in zone, you'd assume a lot of people are making those beams work, that everyone is doing a lot of damage. As a result, that threshold might be higher than normal and higher than we're used to. Leon first moving in 8th place, trying to get towards that triple digits. That's exactly where that 3rd place line kind of lies. It's around 100, 110 points, I believe, at the moment. So they'll look to walk up, and he's also on fire. Once again, when you're so close to the zone, more people will start to get greedy. More people will think that it's efficient to just move in, not use their mats. It gives people a chance to go and strike with their ARs. I'm waiting for the update, and there it is. Him and Sue, 178 damage above. They're looking good for now, but that number will start to dwindle. Look at the speed in which it's updating. Too many players getting damage, taking shots. Got to build up, got to calm down. This is going to be catastrophic if it's not solved. If this problem doesn't find an answer, a solution. It might be in Wafflar's lackadaisical build and defense. It might be in Diox walking by haphazardly towards his teammates' loadout and builds. Benji, Fishy, and Savage below on Surge, basically almost out of materials. With half inventories, what's happened to get them here? They look as dry as the desert they're standing on, and they might be wiped out, just thrown into the sands, the sea, if they don't fix this in enough time left.
Yeah, you can see really struggling to even find any bit of damage to get them above that threshold. And a lot of players in the way of that thing going down, and you can see so many players even starting to fall as the desperation kicks in. They don't have that much of a distance to get it, but they do need to hit something and fast. They don't have the heal to out-heal it.
Lightning is starting to strike now. Big thing as well, too, for this team. They missed the last game. They didn't have a chance to really get their points up, have that big of a total. They kind of didn't have that big of a delta change rolling in.
Need to go to the next wall across. Benji's down. He goes into the box, and at that point, Savage is just a gift. An absolute gift to Adian and Hardfind. We had Mini coming in talking about how their game was setting up to look good, and Savage, another elimination to add to their tally as well. And they picked up another one, Adian in the feed, picking up another elimination. They're racking it up even without placement points now. What's that on the maths, right? 24 points in this game alone, just from eliminations, potentially, maybe even more. They're looking really, really nice. as Voxy and Egram look to make their way into that zone. So many teams gliding in right now. Half the lobby in the sky. But everybody at one point having to come down, making sure you don't land in the wrong box or on somebody's current. Egram maybe going down to that fate. He was taken out. Voxy as a solo in this game now has to do something. The harpoon would have been nice if he had a teammate with him to fish in refreshes. But as a solo now, he's just going to have to try to go for some sort of a play when he can.
Everyone now just went through the first lead. Boxed in, Lola's SD. They're in the business too. Second place team taken out. That's first and second in game 5. Frozen in time at 120 and 118 points respectively. Some of the only triple-digit squads that are locked in for now are not allowed to push their point totals towards the skies before game 6 comes in.
Yeah, number 1 and 2 struggling right now. What's it saying with number 4? Hookah and Zestin, they're looking a lot stronger. Of course, they haven't had to travel as far across the map as Benji and Savage and Lolis and SD did. And they're looking a lot better for where for it. Bevies and Bofink gearing up to play height. You can see the metal ramp here. They're posturing towards it, but will they be able to hold on to it? So many of these teams now, a lot of them will be waiting to look to go for pads. Hardfine and ADN, you can see here they're waiting for their moment with their pad. The high pad comes out and they're looking up at high ground, but the shots towards Hardfine will scare him off a little bit. He won't go for it just yet.
The entire zone only has, I mean, all the players just half of land to work with. The rest is all just water, and no one wants to build there. They want to stick to the beach entirely. This is going to be basically like playing 9th zone. It's going to be so claustrophobic. You can see the effects of it already. Thomas and Triple punching them for basing up on that water. One team is Pidwell. They're forced to go all the way up towards the top. Dueling common ways has sight lines as well inside the skies. The clouds part, and their beams start to fly. A launch pad as well to keep their wings flapping, soaring straight towards the top side of the server. They're going to get beamed down. The Waze has the pad. Waze goes down, and he's lost in the dirt, in the sand. It's all up to Julian. How did this happen? Just a moment, an instant of reprieve, of hesitation, and he's gone. He can get the pad, though. It looks good still. There's a chance for him to keep rocking. The bounce back is there, too, and that res might come through.
The bounce back is so huge for their ability to keep their chances alive, but it also means that things are going to start getting hectic on mid and even up on height as we see players start to posture up towards it. Hardfine and ADN, who have been brilliant in this game so far in the mid and early game. Can they do it in the end game, though, when it matters? Bofink as well, still dropping down into his. Bevies goes down as well in the feed. Trippin as a solo once again. We saw him as a solo so many times yesterday, but this time round, he doesn't have Thomas, and he has to try and hit something huge.
Top 10 just dropped down to top 11, so he definitely is neck and neck with one other duo who's still alive inside the server. Trippin not only needs to live, he needs to find a miracle in a space where it doesn't exist. Satan dropped down, chopped out. Rifty is just too good with it as he keeps rolling. One elim, and now his game begins. Trippin for the moment is trying to still get towards that top 6. Up top, though, Flodax and Rifty possibly getting ready to lock in a win of their own.
Yeah, Hookah and Zestin down on low ground. You can see they're trying to clear in frontside. Trippin doesn't want any part of it, though. He wants to get back in the zone. He has a med miss, so he has a bit of time here if he needs it. But he also hits a big shot to keep him in the game. Wave, Stompy and Jew out of it. But Trippin now running into a box where he shouldn't have ran into. He goes down. Hardfine and ADN now dropping down to low as well. Can they hit some shots on here? ADN looking for it, running in. They're pressuring their way in, and they find the elimination onto Swag. They take him out of the game, but they're forced down to relegate to the backside, and they have not many builds, not much HP, but that won't stop Hardfine. It won't stop him. Hookah taking out Zestin, left with his pants down. He has nobody to round him to help him out, and so Hardfine keeping it going. ADN did fall, but what a shot. 10 eliminations, double digit for Hardfine.
Look at all the health bars. It's so messy inside this end game. Yes, Hardfine is still doing the work, dealing the damage, but it's costing him so much. Every single time, down to a sliver, down to none. He's gone. Rifty and Flodax, the only sense of organization, the only sense of synergy, a dual dynamic that's left in the server, are looking to just wrap up this game, sign their ticket straight to the finals. But there's a king still on the throne. It's Michael who's trying to stop their entire reign and force a defeat on the rest of the lobby. Janice and Vortex are here too. Two teams trying to control low ground for the moment. It's the final time. Let's see what actually breaks down. It's going to be a three-way fight between all these teams. The lull of a moment as they all prep up, split mats, and get ready for the final showdown. One solo, it's Michael. He's not going to make it to the final duel. He drops in, so the throne is ready. Two teams, a 2v2, 8th versus 4th or 2nd right now. Let's see who can really get in. Yeah, 8th and 4th, that's what it is. Rifty up top. This is good for consistency as well as they don't actually wrap it all the way in, but they're looking for beams. This will be a slow ride the whole way through. I'm not completely sure about the mat count between both teams right now, but as soon as that first tag gets found, it'll be explosive. Janus has to get ready, has to cover every single angle, plus this spray. It's got to be an umbrella that protects them like a turtle shell at the same time. Something like that does not exist. They have to do something miraculous in this moment. Janus already getting hit a little bit by the storm. Bodax Rifty really dropping down the pressure. Vortex is reading it. He's waiting for the weak point. Rifty kind of blocks it out. There's no chance. Still 2v2 riding. 7 mats ready for Rifty. Looks like he's trying to drop down at some point. I hear harpoons on one of the sides. Ammunition still good for both teams. Janus now trying to clap back. No builds, just one on Vortex as well. Throw the all in. Bodax now on defense. Big pump shot. It's there. The striker strikes now. It's time to bite. Going down Rifty is looking for the next shot. Edit there. Finds Janus. 136. They can wrap it in. Another one. Rifty kind of insane and wraps it in. Straight to the finals. Game 5. It's their VR. It's their control. And it's them just happy, elated with that victory royale.
Rifty and Flodax did not wilter. They kept their composure. Janus and Vortex, they ran out of mats. Time was ticking for them. They used the SMGs, but Rifty with some big shots there at the end. What a way to do it. Vortex stood no chance. Janus had to fall to the wayside. Rifty and Flodax will be in the FNCS final.
And I like the way they did it too. They started the conversation. They never let Janus and Vortex talk at all. It was spray, 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 reloading each side, one person on defense, just building for Rifty, covering the holes, the gaps. That was phenomenal.
We see so many teams make mistakes, not able to close out on the moment, especially against such top players like Janus and Vortex are. But for Rifty and Flodax, very well executed win. We're going to kick it over to the analysts to break that one all down. We're heading into the last game, and what a 5 games it's been so far.
Man, oh man. Look at that. We get another duo making their way to the finals. And finally, Big Z and Vortex decide, hey, we would like some screen time. Let's be here in 2nd place.
I know, right? Like, Janus and Vortex, a team that usually I'm not used to seeing play 2nd in a game. Like, thing is, like, what I've seen about this team is they're super volatile. Very, very, very volatile. And usually what happens is in that final game, if they're not doing that well, which, you know, before this game, they really weren't, right? They weren't in the top 20 at all. And what will usually happen is their mentality just straight down, right? Straight to the ground in that final game. Since you can qualify with a victory royale, they're like, you know what? We're going to be confident. We're aggressive. We're 2 of the best fighters in the region. We're playing for height at this moment. So that final game, you usually see them win. I've seen it, I think, in 3 different tournaments so far at this point, picking up the victory royale in that final match. So to see them play 2nd is actually quite surprising.
Yeah, they're a very emotional team, and this is one of those moments right here. We can see them coming 2nd. Wasn't quite working out for them. There was a moment here where I thought they were going to win. They did have the med mist on low ground. We saw the height team, of course, have the med kit and just one chug splash. Of course, it was going to be enough, but it didn't come down to the heel off, and Vortex and Janus came 2nd in the end. Very, very close from them. But as I said, it's something that we haven't really seen from them. Even yesterday, we didn't see them pop off at all or perform at all.
I forgot they were here yesterday.
They were here.
Yeah, and they're some of my favorite players, right?
Yeah,
but because they were fighting off Spawn so much, it's just, you know, we didn't get to see them go deep in the end game. We didn't see them really on the leaderboards at all in that top 20 at any point. So now to see them place a 2nd, like, they've definitely flown up after that performance. But for like Janus and Vortex, next game is going to really matter. And I don't know if they're still going to need the victory royale to qualify through, or if they can get into that top 6 or not with the points that they have right now.
Yep.
That's a tough spot to be in, right? Now, we do still have 6 games tomorrow. So it's not completely closed out, but anything can still happen. Now, let's remind ourselves here of the standings. So we did see Benji and Mr. Savage. They got eliminated kind of way too early on there, and it happened the game before as well. So this lead they had surmounted, now gone.
Do you know why? So for Benji and Savage, right, they were center of 3rd zone in game 1, 2, and 3.
Yep.
Right? Comes to these 2, far rotations for them to make it. They get stuck behind, too slow on it, and get picked up, unfortunately. Now, if you notice the delta there, down by 3 placements, same with Lolis and SD as well. Thank you for the visualization, Zeke. I really appreciate that. Both of them are down 3. They were 1st and 2nd by so much, but after that game, they've dropped so much now.
Yeah, they were, and it's a team, or two teams, that are sort of reliant on those west zones if they are going to pop off. But, of course, now we've had a couple of east side zones, and that one more south zone more than anything. They just haven't been able to pick up those tags, and, of course, using so many materials on the rotations, it really does sort of cause them to run out of steam a little bit when they get into these end games, and that's the trouble for Mr. Savage and Benji. They're trying to play low ground, and for that, you need the refresh.
Absolutely, but team that you talked about, actually, in mid-game at that point, Michael and Astro. 13 eliminations. I think that's I was going to say the heaviest. The most that we've seen throughout the entire weekend so far. I mean, it's only been 2 days, so, you know, let's be real. 13 eliminations, and it's like, that wasn't even that deep into the game, right? If they'd managed to stay alive in this, they could have gotten way more.
Aiden and Hardfine, of course, another team that have absolutely popped off. And, of course, off spawn, we saw Hardfine picking up so many eliminations.
Oh, I'm not the wrong one. You know what?
Confused.
I'm giving props to Astro. You know
Astro's great.
They're doing so good going up on the leaderboards. You know what? Why not?
Yeah, of course, Aiden and Hardfine popping off. And we saw that off spawn. We saw how that set them up for success here. And they sort of went from a team that we weren't expecting to do much in the rest of this tournament to someone that, or a team that we thought, actually, you know what? These guys could actually qualify, maybe through consistency, but I think they might still need the victory.
Absolutely. This moment right here is so interesting. See Hookah down below on basically with no HP, and he's whiffed. He's majorly. But see Zestin, his teammate, opening up that wall that moment, actually missed the shot there. That miss was crucial because that would have just ended that run. There was, what, 20 HP at that moment? So that one whiff that came through there, that could have actually almost saved their entire tournament, potentially.
Yeah, that's right. We only have one game left to go. Man, I still just can't get over that win. And I think the biggest thing for me is with one game left to go, you know, a lot of these players are thinking to themselves, we need this victory out. For some of them, they're not even close to qualifying, right? If they could get that victory out and just say, we don't even have to play tomorrow, that's going to be like a huge confidence booster going into next week's finals.
Yeah, it's very true. And this is where you sort of define yourself as a team. It's like, hang on a sec. Are we going to qualify through consistency, or do we have to go all out for the victory? It's now or never for these teams. It's the final game. And for the teams that are going to need the victory round, maybe we see a little bit more cagey, a little bit more calm performance. And for the teams that need the consistency, probably more of the same. So it might be quite stacked.
I'll translate that. If you're below 20th on the leaderboard, just go for height.
Yeah.
Go for height.
Go for height.
There you go.
Win the game.
It is as simple as that. Go for height. This is the last game of semifinal 2 here in Europe. One last time on the day. Shy Wager 11-2K. Over to you.
Zeke, you couldn't have said it better in any other way. It is the last final game. 5 games so far of conditioning, 5 games of stress for so many teams on the day. For some teams, Levin, it's been 11 games so far almost, right? Like, it's insane, and this is the last chance on the day to really lock it in and get towards the finals.
This is where players can maybe start getting into their own heads a bit, right? We've had so many chances up to this point to try and qualify, and we haven't quite made the mark. But you have this final opportunity today. Of course, there are more games tomorrow, but like the desk said, you don't want to be playing tomorrow. You want to get it wrapped up today. And so this is their opportunity going into this last game.
Yeah, you don't want the added, stress of trying to analyze a few more teams. You know how the lobby's playing. You have your stakes set for you. As Reese said, though, if you're 20th and below, it's kind of tough to hit that top 6. One more game, one last chance. Let's see what EU's got.
Game number 6 on the way. The semi-finals of the FNCS. The last chance today for a team to secure their spot via victory royale. And for many of these teams, a last chance to push themselves into the top 6 and qualify via consistency. Something we've consistently seen throughout the games is this battle at Greasy Grove. But in this final one, we won't see the 50-50 at the main build, and instead, Hardfire and ADN will look to play at the safer route.
95 points for them, 12th place overall. What they can hope for is some of these top teams going down, maybe off of spawn, getting just risked on by some of those bottom 30s. I'm looking at the map right now, too. It does look a little bit different in terms of contestation. Looks like Logjam Lumberyard as well has been completely moved off from. Cavern still going kind of crazy. Blue and Nano not electing to go straight for just the overall shop/cabin thing in the middle that dictates exactly how the POIs played. They're staying a little bit more organized, just trying to feel things out. And we have one of the most unique zones, I think, available to Fortnite. I mean, okay, you're nodding your head no. For me personally, how many Bugle zones do you usually see?
Not many, but We've not seen this one today. We've not seen this one today.
We haven't.
In the rare zone.
This is the rare zone.
It's not. Statistically, it's not.
Statistically, it's not. But for today, it's a rare zone.
Yeah, this is the first time I've seen this one.
Yeah, yeah. Stats-wise, what is the most rarest one? Bottom right, right? Like that quadrant? Yeah. Sick. I mean, apparently it's like, I saw a stat sheet about this once and no one else has seen this.
No, this is a new thing.
This is a new thing.
I'll update you after, don't worry.
Don't worry, it's been 6 games. Yeah. Okay, let's set the stage of exactly who we're watching right now. In-game sticks that is kind of leading the pack. A bunch of the teams that have been near the top sometimes just end up qualifying. You know what I mean? Sometimes end up just doing well. It shifts the way the board looks as game to game. And the last game that we just saw, top 2 teams fell very early. So they're going to be dwindling straight throughout the rankings. As a result, some teams rise. Astro and Michael. We've seen Michael at many of these end games. That King tag just rising high. Starting off with a bugle, we had a snide remark at the start of the game of, you know, who lands with the bugle? How does it look? How does it go? Apparently, it's people that might qualify here in EU on semifinal 2.
Yeah, and I think the good thing about this zone is that it probably gives them an easier time. They're uncontested at the bugle. If the zone pulls max towards that northeast again, they'll be able to sit up, base up on the bugle, get tags on all the teams coming in, rotating around the map, and then they have their zones dealt with, right? An easier ride throughout the game.
I mean, max challenge though for Zestin and Hookah specifically, they've had 2 games kind of just sitting inside Condo Canyon, just kind of looking overall at to what they can do. Unfortunately though, for them, when it comes to this zone, they have a long ways to walk and roll.
Yeah, you can see Hardfind and ADN now playing it very carefully. We saw in the previous games how willing they were to just jump into the action, get beefed right the way up. But this time round, Hardfind crouching behind the fence, ADN up on the roof. They do not want to mess this one up. They don't want to let this chance slip. In 12th place, I'm not sure about what a consistency spot would look like for them, but the victory royale is always possible, and they came so close in previous games. And so I'm sure that is what the intention is here. There's a reason why they're trying to savor this moment.
I think it's all about just doing the safest type of strat or the most consistent line from point A to the goal and not taking any risks, not seeing any other teams, especially volatile ones. And for Benji and Savage, this should look like the most different situation out of the whole day for them. I think they just held that gold crown up top and bore it. First place, I think, almost out of the gate from game number 1. They are gone for what, 2 games? Or maybe a game and 3 quarters? Gained 10 points and are now 4th.
Yeah, they really let the game sort of slip away from them over the past couple. Obviously, we're in first place, like you said, Shai, about when they had a change in the zones, right? After the first 3 games, when it was fully west zones, they felt comfortable, they were in their element, things were looking good. The previous 2, where the zone hasn't gone towards the west, they've struggled for better position to find the same tags. You saw Savage and Benji were both hitting crazy shots to get them up in that regard. In the previous game, they've had some struggles with Surge, so we'll see if going into this last one, they can make the adjustments necessary and start hitting the shots. Sometimes it is as simple as that, right? We see teams all the time who have great setups, great plans behind Surge, but just can't get the execution right. And so I guess this game we'll find out whether or not it's an execution problem or whether it's a strategy problem for Benji and Savage. Over towards Butterbando, a place we haven't seen much of today. Kiduo needs to be careful, needs Flixie to get a bit closer with U Street and Axe Force on his wall. But this fight here, taking its well on time. You see how much material has already gone into this one, a load of brick being put into it.
I feel like this fight, no matter what, from both sides, needs to finish fast and also needs to happen. None of these teams close to getting that top 6, and Kidwo understands that, dropping down straight away. User actually lets him enter. Axe Force now down. All it is one edit, a wall placement. It's gonna be there soon. A cone block on the top side. That's gonna be so nice. Kidwo can just pickaxe right past this wall. We'll go for the replays too. Yusri kind of just backing away, turtling on that right side. They have to still finish this fast, and There's the connection using an AI in the way to possibly distract. It's all good. Kidwo's down and out in terms of getting the job done, and they're ready to just keep going. All it is for this duo is keep maybe amassing these eliminations, keep going for that win. I noticed one of these teams sensed that third-party potential, walked in and declined the invitation. That is Leon Furs and his teammate. Why second place overall? Why even get involved in that?
Yeah, at the end of the day, right, if you're one of the teams in that top 6 or anywhere near it, you're always gearing towards just staying alive in the game, right? Even if there might be an opportunity that comes about, you'd have to have nerves of steel to be able to roll through with it, especially when we know just how tipsy-turvy things can get in a Fortnite game like this, right? Where one moment you go from looking on top of the world, everything looks great, you might have just gotten a refresh, thinking we're on our way to the finals. Next moment, you're sitting back in the lobby thinking about what could have been. And that very much could be the case here for Wendy and Leela. If they aren't able to find anything in this one, sitting in 9th place now, they're going to be gearing towards trying to stay deep into this game.
It's dangerous rotating like this, though, next to teams that are desperate for eliminations, moving in ways to get more action, get more loot, and up their chances of winning the game. All Cookie Sue and Leon Furs need to do is just hold on for the moment. Look at the speed at which they're rotating as well, passing by all the chaos that has to ensue on the right side. That's a bunch of teams in kind of the top 20, top 30. That's going to be trouble once they realize, yeah, we're all kind of under the same stakes, all looking for the exact same thing.
Yeah, take a look here. Lolas and SD sitting in 5th place. They started off the day so hot. Lolas with some phenomenal play, some of the best we've seen in an FNCS period. And they've slowed down just a bit. The last couple games haven't quite gone their way since that electric start. And really, that start is what sort of carried them and kept them in such a great position, right? You look at the amount of games they've had where they just haven't quite been able to pick up an elimination since then, or maybe haven't quite been able to make it deep into the game. It's been tough.
I mean, the chances we were looking at as to why that was happening, they had zones a lot of the time. They also had just really good movements all the way into a certain part of the game where they kind of caught a duel by surprise. They had an advantageous third-party position. And it was also just really big on Lolas for having the opportunity to go for that clutch. Now, though, they will have to travel. They'll have to be just stretched to maximum capacity. And as 5th place flies in the sky, we see 4th place cannoning by. That's Benji and Savage in the air, still rolling through. This is the line that we have to watch, though. 116 points. Xerox and Kovacs. I'm still trying my best to Pavlov myself into saying those names and move away from the Augie.
I like to say Xerox, but I like to say Froggy, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Kovacs, if you're watching this back after the tournament, change your name to Froggy officially.
Change your name to... yeah, Froggy.
Nice shots there from Xerox. A couple decent tags. And those go a long way in this game, right? When you're trying to stay in this one. We talked about how difficult it is for these teams to move in towards the bugle, right? You already see that one team in the bottom right of your screen based up on top of that hill. So anybody moving past gonna have a tough time there. Victor, some sneaky plays. The combat SMG, he didn't even have many shots left.
No way.
Does he get the second though? Does he get the second? Swag has to push in. What can he do? Swag will take him out. But Victor did a lot of damage there because Pablo obviously goes down. He was able to get him back up, but you see the timing now. They're 300 above, but look at how far they are. They're like as far away possible as you can be. They might be the furthest team out, even.
Yeah, they have to move even further, too. I feel like whenever we see a zone pull up top right, it only pulls up top right again.
Yeah. These zones, they like to pull max a couple times, right? They do like to do that. I think it's very likely the next zone pulls back, though, which will be good news for them, but at the same time, if you look at where they're rotating in on the Sanctuary side, there's going to be a lot of teams based up there.
Real danger moving in towards the shores right now. Similar stakes for Idiot and Hardfight on your screen, and Kidwo ahead. This could be just a big collision. cataclysmic for both teams because they're looking to fight, they're looking to spray. I'm pretty sure ADN might be low on that surge as well. Off spawn, Greasy Grove went a very different way.
Yeah, they wanted to play it safe at Greasy Grove. They didn't want to take the fight. They wanted to keep their chances in the game. They didn't want to risk it on the 50-50. They want to guarantee that they can have a chance at least, or maybe either pushing their way into consistency or just winning the game outright. The problem is, though, that approach has sort of put them on a crash course to potential failure here as they're down below Surge in a tough spot where there aren't many teams around just this moment. The closer they get towards the Bugle, the more teams that will show up. But in the meantime, 200 below is still such a mountain to climb, even with an abundance of teams around you.
And they chose such a passive line, both off of spawn and now as well. They're not going to be able to find anyone to fix that 200 below. They might have just commit to one team. I mean, 2 players, that's a maximum of what? About 300, 400 damage available. If you go for that knock target damage as well, you might have more in the business too. Profanity and force that pad. This is so tough though. You have the chance to make the jump. Now it's just over. I think you commit to the keg even almost, but
white heels,
it's going to be, yeah, double tick. There's no way. It's just up to ADN now. He has to clutch this. He has to be able to heal up too. Look at the mats. Trying to play an end game past this point. It's just the third zone. Look at the mini-map right now. Every arrow is looking towards the purple. And ADN is almost there. Yes, he is, and he's gone. Leon Furs and Sue will take first place after that as well. Benji and Savage from 4th to 2nd. They're climbing up 123 points. Looking safe for now, but it's so detrimental back and forth. Many big changes in the leaderboards. Big changes in the feed as well. I see iDrop and Jerky versus Thomas and Tayson happening. Trippern takes down iDrop. Swag also down. You talked about the ticking time. And that's exactly what they kind of fell to, right? Swag not being able to have the loot, not being able to have the chance to walk in. He's gone. Thomas not completely eliminated. And that's a legendary striker that's available.
Yeah, and this is really interesting, right? I talked about how maybe we see a pullback on third zone. It's gone max basically again. So another journey for all these teams to travel. The teams who are already set up in zone will be having a real nice time waiting and watching as everybody tries to make their way in side by side. But we already know the kind of issues teams will face once that happens.
And we know the issues that Thomas and Trippin will face if they actually don't get this win today. Think about it this way. 2 days, you're a top-type team landing at Cavern. You haven't qualified yet. That third day, some of these teams moving in, some of the teams around the map, they might start to stop respecting you and go straight for the same drop you're landing at.
The big key here, though, and the big silver lining for them is that when you look at where they were, 8th place, they aren't far away. They don't have to all in. We know, the analysts discussed it in depth. This game is going to be a game where everybody's trying to go for high. Anybody below 20th, all our hopes ride on the victory route, but they don't need to fall under that pressure, right? All they need to do is stay consistent, stay in mid-game, and stay alive together. Too many times now, we've seen them play as a solo, either one. Stick together, stay deep in the game, top 6 is theirs.
So let me give you a snapshot of what happened last game. It was a 4-5-way height fight. It was almost a game 6 in terms of stakes all the way towards the sky. Thomas and Trippern playing mid, staying together, staying fine, slipped up. It's the exact stakes you're talking about, Levin, and they failed already in that 5th game. Is that what it takes in game 6?
You associate having composure to Thomas HD. Same for Trippin, both veterans, both players who have been around for so long. They can't allow this moment to get to them because at the end of the day, the stakes are going to get higher even if they do eventually qual in the finals next weekend. So you have to be able to handle this kind of pressure.
You have to be able to also be in first place and think about the possibility, at the moment at least, for Hookah and Zestin, of not qualifying. I've seen right now this torch, this beam in the sky on the wide be handed to multiple different teams. I've seen Benji and Savage be so close to taking it. It's been Leon Furs at one point. Now it's back to Hookah and Zestin. 127, 124 points, that's where we're kind of at. Savage picks up another pick. It's Vettel who goes down to the Storm. There's some pressure on the backside. I do see Lecce and Swilliam active and quiet for the first time in one of these zones. Where have they got their surge? I'm not sure, but they're actually boxed up and waiting now. Kroggy and Zrogi, Kovacs and Zrox, they're here too. Kind of slightly altered in HP. I'm not sure exactly what happened to Kovacs, but every team usually that's super loud, that's trying to find a way to get some surge, is biding their time, waiting at the bugle for that victory royale.
Yeah, well, we've moved past the bugle now, right? We're moving into even further northeastern territory. Uncharted grounds for everybody in this lobby when it comes to today's games. And again, the space between each team getting tighter and tighter. The room for error getting smaller and smaller. The pressure is rising. And you can see here, when it comes to Leon Flares, they've been able to handle that pressure for a lot of today. The launch pad will help, but some big shots will do even more wonders for them as they move forward. You can see 186 above now that it's updated. And that isn't comfy, so Leon Flares will keep looking. They won't be satisfied. Lowless though, ST. Is everything falling apart for them, Shayo? Started the day so well, down below on Surge, and it just hasn't quite been able to piece things together. Not too much damage needed to get above that line, but look at the inventory, bare bones, not many materials, and there ain't gonna be many places to find them now. If you want materials, you're gonna have to fight for them. You're gonna have to pick up an elimination. A launch pad might be the saving grace for them at some point, but ultimately, this is not looking like a game where they're gonna amass many points. And with so many teams bouncing in around that line of 6th place, looking to push those boundaries, this could be a tragic way to end the tournament for them.
This is not day number 1. Ending your run in 4th for the moment. There's no safety net whatsoever. ST slapped in the face and has to back up. Now the back door also being broken down. Lola's down to 24 HP. It might be over. Surge striking as well. Lolis is down. The clutch meister of the day is gone. ST in a second will be sniped down. They're in 5th place currently and might just fall 120 points. Max pull. He's done the damage on the Cosmo. It's fine for now and got the knock, but it hasn't just come in just yet. ST is gone. From 1st to 6th, it's a 10-point differential. That's how close this day is right now. That means from 6th down to almost even 15th or 20th, there's a chance for teams to have good games, climb up, and make it. None of these teams are safe. They can't go down. Benji Savage survived till the end. Leon Furs is first for a reason. He gets there inside that top 5. Zestin and Hookah, who were in first at a moment, jumping back and forth, ping-ponging in between silver and gold on the podium. 126 below, ran through an entire shield keg, 250 pots, a few minis, and are still getting hunted by Surge. No one on the server wants to go home without even trying to get close towards the ticket to finals. No one wants to go down.
Everyone's keeping their cards close to their chests, right? Nobody wanting to make the one mistake, the one thing that will cost them in their pursuit of the final. But the problem is the lobby doesn't care about that. The lobby isn't as forgiving as we are. And so you're seeing now the desperation to try and deal some sort of damage here.
The lobby especially doesn't care about Zestin and Hookah. They're out of heals. They've just ran through 6 inventory slots of heals, and they're almost done. Surge is still striking. 5th zone locked in, 52 people alive. No one wants to say goodnight. Zestin and Hookah might be forced to put to bed by Sky. It's just Hookah now. 117 damage. He needs to land one of these shots. He doesn't even have a shotgun in the inventory. He needs to spray. He needs to pray to something. He's gone. He's out. They were first at 1.11, and they're gone.
It's the stories of Storm Surge. How difficult it can be in this final game. A team who was so consistent on the day. A team who really looked like they had things figured out ahead of the rest of the lobby, even on zones that were difficult. Just missing the mark now, and will be begging, praying that things can be held onto. And our team who will be begging and praying for some glimmer of hope in this game. Thomas HD using the rift.
No way.
That's nice. And this is what they're setting up for. But Heighten first moving, will it be possible? There's teams still above them as well.
No way! Split the map in half!
The sky.
Look at this! Half the players on low ground figuring out what to do. The rest up in the sky. Forget consistency. It's all about miracles right now. More teams joining the airspace. Zrock's in a box. He's down. Fourth place gone. More space for Thomas and Trippern to take over. They just need a few more points. Wendy at 109 as well. Leader down. Chance for a clutch here. Mr. Lucky number 7 is looking for a few shots at 18 HP. He doesn't have much left in the tank either. Bandages up in play. 3 builds. He needs someone to save him. He needs a power shot. Brick in the way. He can't break past that either. 383 damage above Surge. He'll be fine for now, but he's stuck on the back walls. No more mats. No more chances. He's being forced up and out, just basically flooded out of the builds. He calls home. Jackson down in the feed. He's going up against Benji on the right side. The server's just an absolute catastrophic dismay. No one knows who's on what is on what layer. Vico down on height as well. Satan has it with Darkest. They're finally up, awake, and alive. Their eyes are open. But look at Thomas HDs and Tripperns. They're focused so much on the prize, they forgot to do damage. 52 below. They got no more heals up either. The last harpoon from Trippern. This is chaos. This is tragedy. 10 HP, and Surge stops at the final moment. Trippern finds Thomas. They have a chance to stay as a duo and stay alive for the rest of the game.
But their combined HP is that of just a solo right now. They're looking so bare bones. You can see Wendy now on low ground. The example of what it means to do everything, but he can't. He will fall. And you can see now, Satan has a great hold on height up there with his duo. But down below, everybody hustling and busting, Trippin and Thomas now. This might be the one wall to be knocking on. They can't afford to go down. They need to stay in this game. Look how low they are. No materials either. They need to hit a shot and soon. No, yes! He will do it. He pushes them into the top 6. 4th place now. Thomas, can he clutch? We've seen him do it so many times before. Can he stay in this game? He has a couple builds to keep him up. But Thomas now just waiting out the clock, waiting for everybody else to go down. Michael trying to make a medkit play. Goes down. Another team out of the way for Thomas, keeping him in the game, pushing him up in the standings.
He can't get scratched. He can't get even breathed on right now. 21 HP. He's clutched so far to get to this point, but he has to go even more further beyond. Sue still up in the inventory in terms of resistance at the moment right now. I'm getting flustered. Darkest and Satan are putting down the pressure. He's on low ground. Just grass between him and every other person in this lobby. This is do not shield the players. He doesn't know that himself, though. Thomas moves through the jungle. Just working through the shadows and cannot strike. 131 points at 4th place is what he goes down in for the moment. Leon first at 160. He's just pushing that lead. Repscar trying to get in there as well. 19th place, might have to look for the win, or just so many points to keep racking up and getting towards the end of this game. 8th zone, almost winning in the 9th. Sitting up top on height. Agman Voxier here too in 9th place. They can also just fly by. Sanglit 103 points as a solo with Loki. He gets denied. A shot from Leon Furs. He's making sure no one has it easy towards the finals. Clownski inside the box. Another spray. Another big shot. And he gets one down. Armored Wall. He says no thank you. His teammates still up. It's Refsguard. 97 points, 11. They need this win.
They have to go for the win. They can't afford to go down now. They need to stay in it. But it's going to be so hard. There's a team on height looking strong as ever. And so they need to sort out the low ground quickly. And that's what they'll do. One elimination. Trying to break their way through more. Fighting up another one as well. Fighting to survive. Fighting their way into the FNCS final. Trying to stay up now.
One team.
2 in the final moment. Mr. Satan, Darkest, trying everything they can right now to stay up in this game. Kowski and Refscold scrushed below as well. They're trying to stay up, but they can't make it way through.
Whoever wins this goes to the FNCS finals. It's all about this last 2v2. 24th versus 12th. Who's gonna rock it all the way in? Kowski at low HP. Refsguard laying a trap. He trades. 1v1 now. The last chance. Here we go. Big shields on Refs. He takes the first shot, but it's done. Darkest locks it in, and he's going to the finals. What a 2v2. What a way to secure a spot at the big throne in EU.
What a way to do it. Wow. They secure their spot in the finals in the final moments of that game. A 2v2 and a nerve-wracking one at that. They held on to high for so long, and even in the mystery of battle, even with his teammate down, he did not fold. He hits the shot onto Refsguard, and he wins the game. Game 6, what a finish.
You can't ask for a better one. 2 teams who've done as much as they can throughout the whole day, just not enough. 2 teams who need to win one final fight. Too much pressure for the low ground ones, though. Satan and Darkest, we saw this since like Qual 2-11. They struggle to get that win, to keep the pressure. When it matters most, they deal it down.
It was literally, I'm shaking right now, bro. It's mad. Because they have to win that fight. And it's not just against someone who has COD, who can sit back and relax. It's against another team who is fighting, doing everything they can in those final moments. But they were the ones that pushed through. They were the ones that had the final bit of finesse, the final bit of class to push their way into the final. Wow.
Man, they get a bit of a breather right now to be able to just think about what happened with that win. Refscart, though, was there as well towards the very end, so close in landing one of that, or just one of those final shots, Levin. That was like one of the best ways to end the semifinals.
Honestly, what a way to do it. My mind is absolutely blown. I'm sure my fellow compatriots on their desk will be saying the same. We're going to kick it to them to break that all down. What a day it's been. Wow.
Dude, we were in, I don't know if you could, if your mics could actually pick up the fact that I was yelling in the back from the double rift happening.
It was loud.
Just
it was loud.
So ridiculously insane to have these moments come down to the last game, right? Especially in that situation. If you're following along, you know, both those teams were not in the top 6, and they both needed the victory out if they wanted to continue. To come down to that, to just miss it by that much, Reese.
I mean, I'm telling you, right? Straight up, the rifts that you mentioned earlier, beautiful, right? I think we actually, how often do you see a rift in the end game? We've seen two.
Twice today.
Today, yeah.
Just today.
Exactly, about half the lobby was going up. This was a play that I absolutely love from Thomas HD. The commitment, the understanding that for them to do good and stay in that top, obviously we know Thomas as an incredible solo player, but he has to commit and get Trippern back up there.
Yeah, he can't do it alone. As you can see, they took the rift here as well. And this is an interesting moment. I'm going to use a little Shio analogy here.
Oh,
this
okay. It's going to be good then.
Yeah, absolutely. You know when you walk up to someone in the street and you don't know which one of you are going to go which way? It's like, you're going to go right, you're going to go left, like, oh, left or right? That was kind of what this situation was. Everyone went up with the rift and they were like, who's going to go on high? Is it going to be us? Is it going to be them? I don't know who it's going to be. And this is exactly what they did. They decided, okay, we're going to go a little bit lower. But Thomas HD could have pulled off the clutch of the century here. Could they be in the top 5 or top 6? It's going to be great to see. And we'll see that later on. But man, that was a crazy
They were in 4th when we went down.
They were.
Right? There was a lot of other stuff going on. I'm pretty sure they managed to stay in the top 6, just based off of that, right? Another team who was in the top 6, who was actually first at some point, Lawless and SD. Now, this is a shame, right? Because we talked about how good these guys have been doing on Surge this whole time, right? And yet, mid-game was their fall down. But guess why? Full max distance zone. These guys are fully at that southwest side, dropping near Camp Cuddle. And this could not be a worse zone for them. And you know, without cars now, a lot of teams haven't adapted to this style of going to the complete opposite side of the zone and managing to get Surge at the same time. A lot of players, you know, Henning Queasy, notorious zone complainers. We love them. But they are. Similar for now, SD, obviously, and Lawless as well. Max distance, they're going to have to, maybe in the future, figure this one out, because I doubt they stayed within the top 6 there.
Yeah, I agree. And it was just going from bad to worse for them, of course. All those zones just kept pulling farther and farther away from them, and it just wasn't working out. They tried to use the bills to clutch their way into the zone and make their way into the zone, but there was just too much pressure from the players that were already based up, already positioned inside of the zone that we saw plenty of teams do around the Daily Bugle area.
You know, I'm talking about the downfall of teams who are in the top 6.
Yep.
Benji and Savage. Again, we'll see when the leaderboard comes in later where they actually end up sitting out. But this team, first 3 games, they were in first place. Looked like they were having an absolute dominant run. Even at this moment, they were first. But the hyper-aggression, the over-aggression that we see here, actually potentially was their downfall.
Yeah, I think it was. And it was one of those situations where they almost needed to be because of the storm surge, because of the way that the zone was pulling all the way over to the east side. They had to. And as you can see here, Benji was falling it down at the crucial moments, and Savage just the same. It's going to be tough for them. I don't know if they're going to be in that top 6. It's going to be close.
Yeah, I mean, they were first. I hope they are. Let's be real. It's not a finals without a Benji and Savage in there at this point.
It wouldn't be.
And it's good to kind of go ahead and qualify now, right? Not have to worry about tomorrow, because remember, we have the one tomorrow. 6 games there, so it's like, okay, whew, all right, everybody, sorry about that. It was close. It's just a joke. We're going to be in finals. Ha-ha, right? My goodness. Okay, so let's do something here. Let's kick it back over to our casters. They were the ones who walked us through these 5 games. 6 games, excuse me. Let's relive the moments. Who have gone through?
Yeah, I mean, many different teams, Zeke. The breakdowns were just nice throughout the whole day, but let's take a trip down memory lane, Levin. First off, Carmi, Vanya, they were the easy ones, right? Just staying on height, rattling down. It was a nice drizzle of rain, and they won that first game.
Yeah, I think they maybe didn't get their credit because of the clutch, you know, we saw from Lawless, right? But definitely an impressive first game there from them. Game 2, Buback and Fury, though, came through and did what they do best, making sure they closed out in style, with finesse.
Yeah, we like style and finesse. We also like, you know, classic EU action. Anas and Pink also just made things really high and mighty. Let everyone, you know, play in the playground, and we're like, yeah, we kind of need to make it to EU finals. Let's just do that now.
We anointed them game winners and finally living up to that title, right? Game 4, though, was real fun, though, because you have Kefi, Melody, we have a crazy heel-off, right? One that we were, you know, might personally struggled a bit there in terms of the lung capacity, right?
We had to replace Levin. This is not the same Levin that we saw casting the first 3 games. It's a brand new body and mind. Game 5 also saw, you know, kind of showed us a brand new way to to attack some of these VRs. Rifty and Flodax rolled in, and I think it's a well-earned victory royale, or just, you know, a ticket straight up towards the finals too. They've tried many times, so quals and semis, and they're here to stay.
Yeah, they cleaned up incredibly well, and then Game 6. What do I have to say about Game 6? Do I really have to say anything about Game 6? You know about Game 6. Honestly, one of the better finishes we've seen across any region in Fortnite, in any format anyway, right? That was such a great finish there.
Yeah, it was all about fighting in that one too. I think we've mentioned it with Darkus and Satan. They get a few punches in. They never last the full 12 rounds all the way towards the end. That was an ultimate test for them, and they passed with flying grades.
Yeah, but beyond just that, right, of course, we had players who qualified through consistency. We want to take a look at that leaderboard and check out exactly what happened right there.
That's right, man. We got to take a look because we can't forget at the end of today, the top 6 will be moving on. Questions on the mind. Thomas HD, Tripperin, Benji Fishy, and Mr. Savage. Take a look. 3rd and 4th, they did hang on. Mini, they hung on.
They just about did. And of course, they have a little bit of a comeback towards the end there. I think they set themselves up well enough in those first 3 games to the point where you thought, even if they had an absolute nightmare in the final 3, they're still going to be qualifying.
It was looking close, though.
It was.
Towards that final game, actually, the last 3 games, all 3 of them, I mean, I was getting tense. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to just the way all of these 6 teams, honestly, the top 10 have been playing throughout the whole day. It could have been any which way. As soon as one person drops for a game, I think everyone else's eyes and ears perk up, and they start to just go Brazingo mode towards these games. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's one of those fun things where, of course, you look at the standings and you sort of go to yourself, wow, what a journey it's been, right? Because so many of these teams were sort of in, out, finally, in the end, securing their spots. Personally, a weight lifted off my shoulders seeing Thompson there. Honestly, the stress levels for me going through these games, right? In the last game, when we got to them, I didn't even want to talk about them. Shai was forcing me, talk about Thomas and Triple, talk about them. Like, I didn't even want to say anything. I don't want to jinx it whatsoever, but finally they make it in.
That's right. Let's take a look at our qualified players. So, thanks to production, this is such a helpful graphic. We can take a look, right? We've got where the duos have come through, what qualifier, and the semifinal round. So this is kind of our first set of duos. We have another 12 going through tomorrow. Is tomorrow going to be, I don't want to use the word easier, that's not the word I'm looking for, but maybe more manageable? Because I know we're removing 12 from today because they've qualified. We have 12 new teams coming in tomorrow.
Yeah, that's very true. And I think for the teams that have been in all of the semi-finals sessions, I think it'll allow them to be a little bit more streetwise now. They know how these semi-finals are played out. They know exactly what they're going to be doing with their surge routes and stuff like that. But as you mentioned, there are plenty of new teams, 12 teams, in fact, coming in again tomorrow. So it's going to throw a little bit of a spanner in the works for all of these teams.
Go for it. Okay, I was going to say, they might just be tired, though, man. It's day number 3 of tournaments. They're going to be like, just give me a win, man. Just give me a win. Just go up on high or something.
No, when it comes to it, I feel like day 2 was the easy one. In 3, we finally get that reboot type of gameplay. I think everyone's ready and knows what it takes, especially this game 6 that we just saw. It'll be like that starting like game 3 or 4.
Oh, yeah. Did you watch these games, brother? There ain't no easy ones.
You know what I mean?
There ain't no easy ones, but I do think that's a great point there in terms of, you know, when you've played that many games, right? It's just mentally, you're just sort of going at it and again and again and again, and you know that's what you see, concentration slip. You see these little mess ups, hiccups in people's games. You know, if we're using the logic of, oh yeah, they'll figure things out. You know, Storm said, could have said that for today. Right? You know, we could have said that for today for a lot of these teams, and the same problem will arise tomorrow. You have a bunch of new teams coming in. The dynamics all around the map will switch up slightly here and there, so it's not going to be easy whatsoever. I think honestly, if you haven't done it and you've had all these sessions to do it, you're going to be going into it with a lot of sweat dripping off your forehead.
Right, a lot more pressure coming in tomorrow. Let's remind ourselves of the predictions. Some of us have done really, really well. Some of us
on this side over there, you
Look,
know.
okay, I would like to say that Vinny and I were holding to our guns, okay? We're not, look, they're going to qualify tomorrow, right? It's tomorrow. Tomorrow's
You don't look sold on it.
I am losing hope. I hate to hear it. I hate to say it because, like, these guys are so good, and we expect them to do so well. Yeah, I was kind of hoping we weren't going to go through predictions today, Zeke. Is that what we're talking about?
I know. I didn't really want to. wanted it.
I'm in, and yeah.
Hey, Mini had like an entire wall of like, you know, pins and threads for every possible jerky way he makes it final. He just tossed it all down. You guys heard him, right?
Yeah, I tried. I mean, I'm the new guy, right? I'm the new guy on the set. Nobody knows who I am. I've had 3 times.
Look at this. Look at the excuses.
Hold on. How's your faith doing, by the way, in terms of, that was kind of wishy-washy.
Somehow back up again all of a sudden.
I was backing the boys.
Oh,
from the start.
yeah.
I mean,
Game 3, though.
Is at? Are you sure? Game 3, I remember you wavering.
Yeah.
Mom,
That was old Leopard. That was old Leopard, right? We had to replace the lungs, the brain, everything.
Yeah. This
Honestly,
new one believes. Yeah.
Honestly, I said yesterday, Juriki and I drop will be the end of Mini Miner, and look, he's going off the rails here. You know, look at him. You can't.
No, I'm confident that they're going to qualify tomorrow. Maybe I do stick with them. I think I have to go for the third time lucky, go for the old Reese Classic, you know, stick him 3 times.
It worked.
So, I mean, it does work. So
I also got it right today, though. So, you know.
Okay, all right. I don't want to talk about Reese no more. We're done here. Fortnite fam, thanks so much for hanging out with us for semifinals day number 2. Don't forget, tomorrow we're back. Same great time, same great place, great people. Make sure you don't miss it. Also, NA East, NA West as well. There's 12 teams going in both of those regions, so still plenty of Fortnite to watch. We love y'all. Keep yourself safe. And as always, we'll see you.
We got predictions.
On that battle bus.
You don't get.
Beep, beep.
I went boo.
I'm ready. Hello guys, my name is Station. I'm competing in the Region Rumble. I haven't played this map since so long. I mean, it's really good for aim practice because it's really like realistic, I would say. Okay, 71 hit, 44 missed. I know Epicwell has like really good tracking, so might be hard to beat him in this. Five. There's too many targets. I don't know who to focus on. I think I could have done way better. Just if I had more time, I think, to practice on this. But I think the NA guys will do better than me. Maybe with the zombie MK tracking, I might have done better. I'm sorry I disappointed you guys.
My name is Bizzle. I'm representing NA East in the Regional Rumble. I'm going against Tayson and Epic Whale. Personally, I think I'm going to win. I am ready, and if anything, Tayson might give me a little bit of a challenge.
All right, let's go. 50 meters time trial. I've never played this before. This is the one thing I'm supposed to be good at. Oh lord, 61. That's bad, right? That's definitely bad. Went awful. I felt so bad. 61, there's no way I won. If I won, I'll be very surprised. Let's go. 50 meters horizontal. I should win this. I'm missing too many shots. Any more headshots? Yikes. Six? Is that right? Alright, I should be fine. I'm feeling confident with that. Maybe. Not really. Alright. Alright, we got Skeet. Let's go. Why is the background black? I can't see anything. Spawn. Alright, 66. That's okay. There's no way that'll win. I should win, I think. Probably not.
Mousepad is tiny, bro. All good. Alright. Hey, what's up, guys? My name's Epic Whale, and today I'm going to be representing NA West in the Regional Rumble. First one's 50-meter Ranger. Starting it up. Alright. It's more like a flicking map. Alright. Hit 64, not bad. I don't really know. Hopefully that's a good score. It's not used to this setup, so we'll see. We got 3 eliminations. All right, that's solid. Ran out of mouse space a few times, but we good. All right, 62, solid. I feel like that might have been my best one. Either this one or the first one. I don't know. That second one was pretty tough. The first one was a more flick map, like almost like shotgun aim kind of. The second one was mostly just hard tracking, and then the third one was like a combination of the two, where you're kind of flicking at moving targets and tracking a little bit. Personally, I'm pretty like even. I don't have like one's not way. My tracking isn't way better than my flicking, and my flicking isn't way better than my tracking. So.
Day 2 of the NA East FNCS semifinals is upon us. Rokane and Joji will be hopping into the lobby after Rokane's incredible performance in Qualifier 3. OMG Me Too and Shadow played the consistency game yesterday, but just missed out qualifying. They had at least 14 points in every game played, at least one elim in every game, and never placed lower than 17th. Many names are still seeking a spot in finals. Bucky, Macwood, Cease. All are yet to qualify. These lobbies will be stacked. FNCS NA East semifinal 2 starts now.
Yo, Fortnite fam! Hustle up! FNCS NAE semifinals day 2! Let's ride! It's a new dawn, it's a new day, and we're feeling groovy. That's right, we are here for FNCS NAE semifinals day 2. Yesterday was absolutely action-packed, high-octane, and today is going to be even wilder. My name's Adam Savage. I am delighted to be your host. Hello there. We've got all the action coming your way. We've got so much to get excited about as well. Just to recap us, of course, in our qualifiers, 15 teams qualified from there. Yesterday, 11 more joined. That's 26 in total. Today, 12 more will join them for finals going through to next weekend as well. Now, of course, many big-name teams still yet to qualify. Rising stars of tomorrow as well are hoping to get their first taste of FNCS finals, the premium creme de la creme in Fortnite around the world. This is that competition. Now, of course, as well, if you're watching from Legends Landing, big shout out to you guys as well at home. Hello! Welcome to you in Legends Landing. You can find out loads more on the Epic Discovery Row as well. Now, we're going to break down all of yesterday and go forward to today as well, who to look forward to, who to get excited to see, but I can't do that by myself. The entire squad has assembled for you guys. Let's bring them out. The absolute legends that are SPG and Vivid! Woo! Hey! I love it, guys. Good to see you. This